Afadhali mzee ambaye ni mtulivu, ambaye hana haja ya kujaza mifuko yake, ambaye atachunga masilahi ya watu yake, badala ya mdomo tamtamu 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 tamtamu. Lakini akiingia ni wale wa kufanya moja yako, nusu ya mwananchi, 2 yako na 5 yangu. Na mnawajua nyinyi mna.
Hii maendeleo anasema iko maendeleo, hakuna maendeleo. Maendeleo ya nini? Ya matope. Maendeleo ya matope kama maya.
Kwenda kabisa, wani lazima. Enda, tera zuende.
Wakenya mkoja. Mkoja. Anasiwezi karanga. Uwe hae. Magala magala. Niko tayari. Kulipa gharama. Sitasimama maovu ya kitawala. Sitasimama maovu ya kitawala. Ukizani ubinafsi ukabila.
Tunaingia vijijini, mijini na hata jijini kukuletea taarifa mchana kutwa. Usiku tunaketi kitako, tunadadavua tukichanganua taarifa na makala muhimu yanayokuhusu wewe na familia yako. Ungana na Bernard Ngozi kwenye Open Forum Political Show kuanzia saa 4 usiku hadi dakika zake kila siku ya wiki kwenye Sound Candy Talk. Tukutane Sound Candy Talk.
Sisi vile vile sio wote ambao wanataka ugomvi kwa sababu ya ugomvi.
Niwaambia nyinyi ni wajinga mkimpata Ruto. Mkadhani tunawadanganya.
Jeti ya Ruto. Hii maisha ya Ruto ni stress na ni stress.
Mungu wewe umetukosea.
Sasa tumesema siku ya Jumatano. Uko tayari? Uko tayari? Tumesema sisi si majambazi.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for making time to join us on Sound Candy Talk, Open Forum Political Discussion Show. This is the show that gives an opportunity to air what you feel and think about the latest development on our political front. Well, this is it. It's now becoming clearer. The William Ruto administration is one that thrives on state capture. Contrary to his campaign vows and promises, he wants to be in control of every aspect, especially when it touches on matters corruption. Well, tonight we are looking at the return of silencing arrests. Control of budget exposed the rot at Treasury. And now she's rewarded by being arrested. And then, of course, framed up charges will be raised so that we paint all the cattle black so that we all look the same. And therefore, nobody will be wrong or be able to point out what is wrong in our midst. It's a very sad day in this country that standing for what is right is now a crime. Pointing out what is wrong is now a crime. And it's all going on with every passing day, regardless of the outcry of the common mwananchi out there on how he requires and needs badly the intervention of the government in helping the situation at hand. Well, now these arrests are not anything new to any Kenyan who has been here for a while. We are almost a concluded government that has done away with everybody that stood up for what is right for all Kenyans, especially when it went against the so-called chosen few, the so-called ruling class, touching on corruption and all manner of administration. We have lost gallant sons of the soil in this great country. All of it on the premise that there are chosen few who must be protected at all costs. And some of what we are suffering now is as a result of our past mistreatment and killings of the messengers of good that were sent to warn us and help us come out of our rot. But instead we killed them and then turned around, painted their graves with whitewash, and we hold a ceremony for their memory. Well, as we start out this, trying to avoid to get emotional about it, I really want you to sober up and help us look into this critically. This country is in a mess, and I don't see why any person claiming to be fighting corruption will be going after the whistleblowers of corruption. This removes every doubt, if there was any, about William Ruto and his government, that they are a government by corruption, for corruption, and for the corrupt. The rest of Kenyans can go to hell if they wish to. This is what you're faced with. Therefore, let's look at this keenly and be able to discuss openly and, of course, find a lasting solution to all this. Bishop Okinde and the team at the anti-corruption, are you a volunteer extension of the execution of those that point out the wrong in the society? Or you are indeed there drawing a salary because you are helping into the war against corruption? Let's talk. I salute everybody who is joining us from wherever you are. Please, let's do it as our duty. Make sure you invite somebody to be part of this great conversation. Share the link with all the people in your life. We are live on Sound Candid Talk Facebook page, Sound Candid Talk live YouTube page, and Sound Candid Talk, YouTube channel. Thank you so much. And of course, we have our poll question on both YouTube channels, that is Sound Candid Talk and Sound Candid Talk Live. Is the arrest of the controller of budget part of the Ruto schemed state capture? That's what you need to answer to. Is the arrest of the controller of budget part of the Ruto schemed state capture? Already 2 people have cast their vote on Sound Candid Talk Live, and of the 2 people, 50% say yes, 50% say no. Let's check on this other side. On Sound Candid Talk, is the arrest of the controller of budget part of the Ruto schemed state capture? 87% say yes and 13% say no. 23 people have cast their vote. Make sure that before you cast your vote, you like the video so that we can be able to verify that really people are the ones that are participating in the poll and it's not robots or any other means. I want to salute everyone. Please, let's invite somebody, remind somebody, let us, gang up and just make a difference tonight. MNA, karibu kwa show. Charles Green, karibu kwa show, says Ruto can't stand being exposed with his cartels of thieves and have now start threatening the budget controller for exposing their stealing. Shame on you, Ruto. I agree with you. This is madness. How do you arrest a woman for speaking up? And this country is ailing. This country is in pain. Why would you go after the messengers that are out to save the country because you have to protect the few rotten potatoes in the bag? We can't do this anymore. Well, Tunim Hamud, karibu kwa show. Asante sana. Kuna engineer Kariuki anasema grieved members of parliament stormed out of parliament chanting no CDF, no parliament. Ebu kiwarambe kirambani. Tafadhali. Sawa basi. There is an end to evil. There's an end to evil. And some of it is when it dawns to you that the hyena you protected is equally aggressive against you and it can feed on you regardless of how nice you've been to the same. All the people who are protected, the snake that want to swallow this country will suffer the consequences thereof. Now I'm tempted to throw in the scripture. The husbandman that laboreth shall be the first partaker of the fruit thereof. If you work so hard to protect William Ruto in his evil against the Kenyan people, in making the country what it is today, then be prepared. You will be the first partaker of the fruit thereof. Simba Omar said, karibu kwa show. Nasema Zakayo Kenya imemshinda. Kweli kabisa. Liliana, karibu kwa show. Matoma Kndate anasema nini? Sasa mkishika control of budget, nani ataweka nani ataweka ndege ya tourist mafuta? Ndio mimi nashindwa. Hiyo pesa wanataka kutoa bila controller. Nataka kutoa bila controller. Inaonekana controller ameanza kucontrol the amount of fuel. So wakimweka ndani ndio atachota bila kusumbuliwa. Haya, Willy Mwadilo, karibu kwa show. Asante sana. Juliet Musalia, karibu kwa show. Christine Mukami, karibu kwa show. Kuna Dorothea Mushila, karibu sana. Nani huyu mwingine? Dahir Abdi, karibu kwa show. Estaka Kabiru, welcome to the show. Jeffrey Onyapidi, karibu sana. Nani huyu mwingine? Haya, nashukuru nani ashafika. Thank you. Sasa tumia hiyo link, ingia studio tukajadili masuala haya kwa kina. Hiki kinachoendelea katika nchi hiki si kipya wala sio kizuri, na wakati umefika kila Mkenya apase sauti, kwa sababu kama ni mwizi ni mwizi, na mwizi akianza kuiba na kutoroka, hiyo kupasa kwako sauti kutasaidia ashikwe. Hiki kinachoendelea sio kizuri, na haya mambo yote yanatokana na nani? Na yanatokana na ile kulinda wachache ambao ni waovu, and it has been with us. That's why I want us to look at the history of silencing the truth in this country. It's a painful history, and I don't see why somebody should perpetuate in the same. I was having a conversation with somebody today, and I said what I've said here before. if we only let this country get its natural course from independence, we would have made miles ahead. If we let people like Tom Mboya leave, we let people like James Kariuki leave, and give them a leeway to lead the country to prosperity, we will have made it to first world. But what did we do? Exterminated them, killed them. And now we are timing in the same place. And I am seeing the same thing we have done in the past beginning to be done now. We silence all that wants to speak the truth so that we can continue lying one to another and lying to ourselves. We cannot run this country like this. And therefore, Kenyans of goodwill, it's about time we stood up and spoke out. The evil in this land must end. Whoever is behind it, let him be caught by the same. Whoever digs the pit shall fall in it, and whoever breaks the hedge, the serpent will bite, the Bible says. And so let's not play games. This arrest of this woman is a pointer to what William Ruto and team are out. They have no plan to stop corruption. They have no plan to stop the looting. They have no plan to even go slow on it. So when somebody points to them, they look for how to exterminate that person. Look for how to, I understand that Chiloba was dismissed from the, where is it called? Communication Authority of Kenya, because he refused to shut down the internet when we were having Mandaman. Now that is how bad things are. And so what they are targeting this woman for is to look for how to replace her and bring in somebody who is more pro-government, who is going to cover up the road so that they continue milking and milking. For how long are you going to milk a dying cow? Well, let's engage. Thank you so much. As you join, please invite somebody, and then, of course, participate fully into the show. Ask the question on the poll, and then, of course, invite somebody, remind somebody, let's talk tonight. Thank you so much. Namwona mzee wetu Lawi ashafika. Lawi, namna gani leo? Bwana Lawi, upo? Okay, let's get the video in the meantime. Okay, let's get the video in the meantime.
Lale, 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 Wakenya musilale. Bado mapambano, mapambano, mapambano. Bado mapambano, mapambano, mapambano. Asanteni sana. Bado tutapambana na hii serikali, sababu kuna shida mingi tumeshindwa ile tutafanya. Tunaenda direct from the point. Kitu yenye iko, tuliona hii mambo ya maongeo ya pati sana. Tunasema hii maongeo lazima wananchi waende kwa referendum. Hakuna bunge Kenya.
Comrades, fire.
Fire.
Nikisema down, unasema down. Down, William Ruto, down.
Down.
Down. Down, Comrade William Ruto, down.
Down.
Down, Comrade corrupt man Deputy President of Kenya, Rigathi Gachagua, down.
Down.
Down, Musalia Mudavadi, down.
Down.
Down, all UDS governors, down.
Down.
Down, all UDS MPs, down.
Down.
Down, all MCS of UDA, down.
Down.
Down, down.
Down.
Down, down.
Down.
Up, maskini, up.
Up.
Up, maskini, up.
Up.
Up, maskini, up.
Up.
Wake up, maskini, wake up. up.
Wake up.
Wake up, maskini, wake up.
Wake up.
Fight for our democracy, maskini, wake up.
Wake up.
Fight for our economy, wake up.
Wake up.
Fight for our economy, wake up.
Wake up.
Fight for our country, wake up.
Wake up.
Fight for our country, wake up.
Wake up.
Up, maskini, up.
Up.
Up, maskini, up.
Up.
Up, maskini, up.
Up.
Up, maskini, up.
Up.
Comrades, fire.
Fire.
Comrades, fire.
Fire.
Love the poor, love.
Love.
Love the poor, love.
Love.
Down white people in this country, down.
Down.
Down Americans, down.
Down.
Down Americans, down.
Down.
Down up countries, down.
Down.
Down abroad countries, down.
Down.
Poor peoples, up.
Up.
Poor peoples, up.
Up.
Common man, up.
Up.
Youth who lacks jobs, up.
Up.
Youth who lack jobs, up.
Up.
Youth who are suffering in this regime, up.
Up.
Youth who are suffering in Ruto's government, up.
Up.
Thank you very much. Takutana kesho.
Vice Chairman, to say some words to media and to communicate with Kenyans. I welcome you now.
Bunge oi! Bunge oi!
Vijana musilale, lale lale, wa Kenya musilale, bado mapambano, 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 bado mapambano, mapambano, mapambano.
India are fantastic.
India has made a very huge contribution. We want to thank Prime Minister Modi for making sure that Africa became a permanent member of the G20 during his presidency.
Yes, I will be visiting India later this week, maybe on between the 4th and the 5th. And
what were the discussions about, if you can talk about, did you have a meeting with the Prime Minister today?
I will be having a meeting with the Prime Minister hopefully when I visit India. We had just a small conversation and I'm looking forward to visiting India.
And how do you see the relationship between the two countries?
The relationship between Kenya and India are fantastic. We have a huge Indian population in Kenya. They are making very positive contribution in our country. We have a fantastic bilateral relationship, and it is my intention that we're going to build on that relationship in my visit to India later in the week.
So India is also the G20 presidency. I mean, now Brazil will take off,
yes.
Take the baton. How
India has made became a permanent member of the G20 during his presidency.
Anybody will tell you there are only 4 things in the world that a government needs to address seriously. The first thing is food. You must keep food away from the control of the ordinary fluctuations of prices on world markets, on the open markets. Number 2, you must control the cost of health. Number 3, you must control the cost of education. Number 4, you must control the cost of transport. William Ruto, I think, is empty. This head is empty in terms of what are the existential threats that face the black people, that face Africans. He swallowed the issues of the white man, the way they are packaged. He doesn't understand crony capitalism, how it works. So he has now become an agent of the West to destroy an African state. When they elected him, there was nowhere in his manifesto where he said that the IMF and the World Bank are going to govern Kenya when he gets into office. He promised to govern this country, but he's destroying it. Everything is crumbling in 1 year. It's not acceptable. We're going to get a point whereby he can be impeached if he doesn't change course and begin doing things that benefit this country, not to benefit the Western powers, not to benefit the World Bank. Right now he wants to sell the assets. These assets, some of them were put up before he was born. Now he wants to come and sell them. What will the future generations have as a state? Those who run the government in future, what will they rely on to run this government?
Sasa baba, tupatie direction. Tupatie direction leo. Utuambie kama ni kurudi kwa barabara, tuanzie kesho.
Murkomen iko ndani, Faruk Kibet iko ndani, ati Aden Duale iko wapi? Ala, wewe Duale, tunakuambia hapa group, rudisha pesa ya NYS. Hiyo pesa si ya mama yako, hiyo pesa si ya...
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are glad you're watching. Thank you so much for keeping at Sound Candid Talk. As we engage, please make sure you're on the forefront of speaking up and, of course, inviting somebody to share into this great conversation. We must stand up for this country and be able to save it completely. You are the solution to this great country, and that, I believe, the reason why God has allowed you to be alive when what is happening is happening. And this is the time when we need to draw lessons from our history and to stand up in order for us to appreciate that if we don't learn from history, we are bound to repeat it. And what I'm seeing happening with the William Ruto administration, he's busy reliving the old books, the old, we call them what, the Kanu book of rules that is out to frustrate and, you know, take this country back 20 years, 30 years, 50 years. To me, that should not be happening. Let's listen to this, even as we wait for you to come in and engage.
Concerned. And I also had the figures here. The revised figure for public debt for this, just this ended financial year is 1.360.9 trillion, out of which I have approved withdrawals of 1.168.6 trillion.
For debt repayment?
Yes, for debt repayment. Now, if you compare the figure for public debt and the figure for recurrent, you will see that we have spent more on public debt than the whole recurrent expenditure for the government for the whole year.
Yes.
Yes. That is the truth. So we still have actually some invoices.
I would like to repeat that, please. Yes, this, we've spent more on paying debts than we're spending on what we need.
On all recurrent. Yes.
All.
Yes. Now, if you add recurrent and development to the MDAs only, without the counties.
What are MDAs?
Ministries, departments, and agencies.
National
so those are ministries and all the other bodies below them.
All the other entities.
Yes.
That
yes. Yes. You know, each ministry has certain agencies that carry out their functions. All together, we have done 1.530 trillion
shillings.
Yes. On public debt, I said I have released 1.168 trillion, but that is short of what the budget was.
What was the budget?
The revised budget for public debt is 1.360 trillion. So we've only done 85%.
So even what
loans,
we were supposed to have paid in the loan for the loans that year, we have not even paid.
We have not paid all of it. As far as public debt is concerned, and I also had the figures here, the revised figure for public debt for this, just this ended financial year is 1.360.9 trillion, out of which I have approved withdrawals of 1.168.6 trillion.
For debt repayment?
Yes, for debt repayment. Now, if you compare the figure for public debt and the figure for recurrent, you will see that we have spent more on public debt than the whole recurrent expenditure for the government for the whole year.
Yes.
Yes. That is the truth. So we still have some invoices.
No, I would like to repeat that, please.
Huh?
Yes, we've spent more on paying debts than we're spending on what we need.
On all recurrent.
Yes. All.
Yes. Now, if you add recurrent and development to the MDAs only, without the counties.
What are MDAs?
Ministries, departments, and agencies.
National
those are ministries and all the other bodies below them.
All the other entities.
Yes.
That.
Yes. Yes. You know, each ministry has certain agencies that carry out their functions. All together, we have done 1.530
trillion shillings.
Yes. On public debt, I said I have released 1.168 trillion, but that is short of what the budget was.
What was the budget?
The revised budget for public debt is 1.360 trillion. So we've only done 85%.
So even what we were supposed to have paid
repayment.
in for the loans that year, we have not even paid.
We have not paid all of it.
Okay, that is how mysterious it is to run the government under William Ruto. A lot of things are done without clarity. And then when you bring to shed light on what's cooking, especially when what's cooking is not right, you become an enemy of the state. And probably you risk being arrested. Well, all this must be brought to an end. And for that to happen, you must speak up. Karibu sana. Engineer anasema sasa wanataka kutulipisha kuweka ng'ombe. Itakuwa 500,000 fine if livestock isn't registered. Aya, mmeona hiyo? Matoe ndio umeacha hapa nguruwe nyingi. Sijui. Umerejeza nguruwe zako? God help us. May God help this country. May God help this country. This is serious. Okay, Matu hapa na respond anasema engineer Kariuki tena and the festive season kuchinjwa tatu ficha kwa Aya, utasema hiyo ujui. It's okay. Thank you. Let's listen to this. Na wasubiri mwingia studio Mungu tukaongea tafadhali. Kuna inaonekana mtu akiingia na tupwa nje, sijui kuna nini. But jitahidi kuingia studio ukaseme ya kwako. Tusingoje dakika mwisho ndio tukaanze tena ku delay the closure when we have reached that time for ending the show. So please, tukuje kwa in good time, speak up in good time, and we will be a better position to analyze the situation at hand. And like I said, this open forum, we must all come out and speak out.
This is the latest at this hour. Controller of Budget, Dr. Margaret Nyakang'o, has been released on a bond of 2 million shillings with a surety of a similar amount or a 500,000 shillings cash bail. Nyakang'o pleaded not guilty of 4 counts, including multiple counts of fraud, false pretense and operating a circle without a license. Chemutai going with the details.
The controller of budget was attending a public seminar in Mombasa County before she was arrested and arraigned at the Mombasa Law Court. Nyakang'o, who came before Chief Magistrate Alex Ithuku, pleaded not guilty to 4 charges leveled against her, including obtaining money through false pretense. Claudia Mutunge moved to court in November 2019, accusing Nyakang'o of defrauding her 29 million shillings. Nyakang'o stands accused alongside 10 others in a complaint lodged before court in 2016, before her appointment as controller of budget. It is claimed that Nyakang'o operated a microfinance institution which closed shop but failed to pay the monies deposited therein. The Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions says a review of the investigation file had shown sufficient evidence to take the matter forward. Though Nyakang'o denied claims of her arrest, saying she presented herself to the Mombasa police station, her tribulations have raised eyebrows owing to her sharp criticism of the government. In her recent appearance before a parliamentary committee, Nyakang'o warned the government that operations would soon grind to a halt owing to debt distress. Further, when she came before the National Dialogue Committee, she revealed that records under National Treasury showed that she was earning 3 times her salary, which was false, raising alarm over where the additional monies were being channeled. The case is set to be heard on December 13th this year.
I hereby admit her to a bond in the sum of Kenya shillings 2 million with 1 surety of similar amount. There is an alternative of Kenya shillings 500,000 cash bail. Summons to issue that is against the other 10 who are not in court today.
Chemutai going.
Okay, mambo ni kama hayo. Nashukuru kila mmoja kwa kujiunga nasi katika kipindi. Tunakuomba tafadhali tumakinike kukaribishana. Katika hii nchi kuna kitu kinaitwa file waiving, okay? File waiving ni kwa wale ambao mtaelewa, ni wakati State House inataka bill fulani ipite kwa parliament, alafu kuna a lot of opposing voices and probably some opposition parliamentarians have decided to make sure that that bill falls. So what usually happens traditionally, now I'm giving you this as what I know happens and literally happens, is that when you become too critical for the government finds something to put on you so that they silence you. And one of the things that happen, especially when the matter is before the floor of the House, is that there is that place where the what are they called? The strangers in Parliament are the lobby, the balcony where they go and sit. Let's say students, things like that. So what happens is you will get visitation from the boys, the special branch boys, and I don't know what is their name nowadays. So they will visit your office and tell you that, are you aware that we're having a file on you and we are investigating you for this and this and this. And so this one, you have opened your mouth too wide in criticizing the president or criticizing the government. You need to stop it. Or else these files, we are going to use them against you and it will not be well with you. And so you get threatened from the office before you go to the floor of the House. And then of course, utasimama na ile ujasiri wa kusema lazima utetee wananchi, ufanye vile unataka. So what happens, the boys watakaa huko kwa balcony. What's happening with my mouth today? Watakaa huko kwa balcony where you can see them while you're on the floor of the House. So what happens is, as soon as you take on the microphone to speak and you want, let's say, to oppose or give more evidence why a particular motion must collapse, the boys will just remove the file and then wave it like this. And then you will see somebody on the floor of the House gets paralyzed and then begin to praise the government when he was standing actually to cut down the government to size. Now, that that's why I'm not surprised with these cases of the control of budget being fished from 2015, from 2016, and all that. All this is reviving something to paint this woman in bad light so that Zakayo can look good, okay? So that they can feel justified. But what they really want her to do is to get silent, let the eaters eat, let the thieves steal, but that's all that they're after. So his story, running a circle without license, defrauding somebody 29 million. Let's wait and see how it develops. But from the look of things, hapa kuna kitu. Na hicho kitu ni kwamba hawataki mtu yeyote kuwakosoa. There is a picture somebody has sent me. I'll soon be sharing it. And I'm waiting for you guys. Ebu tumia hii link, ingia studio, ukafanya nini? Ukachangie mjadala huu. Okay? Huyu Mr. D naye ameanza nini? Anasema Mr. D anasema Zakayo wants to tax your mouth. I think so. Zakayo, the tax collector, he wants to tax everything, including how many words we say. We should be paying 10% of the amount of words we speak in a day, probably. Mungu tusaidie na sisi. So, tafadhali, I'm waiting for you to come in and then be able to, participate into the show fully, even as we continue to engage. I really need us to understand this. So, wakati unaona watu wanabadilisha lugha ama wananyamazishwa, njia ya kunyamazishwa ni hiyo, kutafutia kesi ya kitambo, kuifufua na kushinikiza huyo mtu aende kotini, aifufue ili watumie hiyo kama kigezo cha kufanya nini? Cha kukunyamazisha. Now, listen to this one. This must be who? It is about member of parliament or somebody. He says, if you try to warn he says, if you try to warn Kenyans to brace for tough times ahead, you will find yourself behind bars, like the control of budget today. Just say Kenya is the best economy, is in the best economic condition, and no one will touch you. Now look at that, okay? If you try to tell the people what is the actual picture of the situation in the country, you will find yourself behind bars. Utakamatwa. Kile unapaswa kusema ni kuendeleza uongo wa Zakayo, kuendelea kuambia watu kwamba kila kitu kiko shwari, tawala Kenya, tawala, unaongoza vyema, kila kitu kinasonga mbele, Kenya inasonga mbele. Unakumbuka hizo nyimbo zote za kizalendo? Kenya inasonga mbele na Rais Moi, unaongoza vyema. That is what they want. Lakini hii masuala mengine ya kusema ATA, education ime-collapse, healthcare ime-collapse, and Linda mama haiko tena, na hakuna pesa, dola inaanguka. Hizo vitu usiseme. Wewe sema tu unaongoza vyema, mambo iko sawa sawa, hakuna kitu ambacho kiko makosa katika nchi hii. Utakuwa rafiki mzuri wa Kenya Kwanza, na hata unaweza kuzawadiwa na William Ruto. Cha muhimu hapa, tusipokubali kwamba hapa kumeharibika, tutakosea pakubwa sana. Naomba tafadhali tuendelee kukaribishana, tusonge mbele na mjadala wa usiku wa leo. Tunaangazia swala la controller of budget getting arrested. Is it for silencing her or it is for what? Our poll question so far, 3 votes kwa Sound Country Talk Live. Inaonekana huku watu hawako wengi. Is the arrest of the controller of budget part of the Ruto schemed state capture? Hii ndio njia moja ya William Ruto kufanya state capture. 67% say yes, 33% say no. What is your take on the same? On Sound Candid Talk, let's find out what they are saying here. So far, we have 48 likes on the video. Thank you so much. And 58 votes. Okay, 58 votes. That means 10 people did not like the video. If you voted without liking the video, go back and like the video. Is the arrest of the control of budget part of the Ruto schemed state capture? 83% say yes, 84 now, with 62 votes. 84% say yes, and 16% say no. What is your take on all this? We will want to hear what you're saying, and then of course be able to analyze it correctly, ndio tuseme mambo jinsi yalivyo. Lakini cha muhimu hapa ni wewe kujua kwamba kumewaka moto na inaonekana William Ruto and team are desperate, okay? Are desperate. They want to do anything to remain afloat, although they are drowning with every passing moment. Kama vile baba amesema, laana ya Mungu iko juu yao, kwa hivyo hakuna chochote ambacho wanashika kitafanikiwa ama kinafanikiwa. Everything under their charge or anything in their hands is falling apart. And that, to me, it speaks volumes. It speaks volumes because we can't have a government that gets everything wrong, okay? They get hustler fund, they get it wrong. They get the subsidy, the so-called subsidy for production, it goes wrong. The buying G2G story of buying fuel goes wrong. And, you know, now that's why he cannot stay home. He has to keep traveling, lest he's asked questions. Hii mbona haiendi, hii mbona haifanyi kama vile inapaswa kufanya. Well, nashukuru kila mmoja, naomba tumakinike, tuendelee kukaribishana, alafu kusemezana. Link ya kutumia ni hii. Link ya kutumia kuingia studio ndio hii, na kuomba ingia studio. Na kama watu waingia studio, mnajua masaa yangu yakifika mimi nafungasha naenda. Alafu tuonane hiyo masaa mengine. Cha muhimu hapa ni wewe kuingia, wewe kusema ya kwako, kisha tutayazungumza yote. Hebu nione hii Angela hapa anasema ana tax kuku, ng'ombe, etc. Ata tax hata mayai amekula, as you would be as we have been hey, God have mercy. Hey. Okay, umbu, cockroaches, chawa pia. This is serious. And I think something is very wrong with the William Ruto. Kama vile tumesema, he needs psychiatric help. Ninyi watu msichukulie hii kitu kama mzaha. Hii kitu ni serious kwa sababu kuweka ng'ombe, kama vile mimi naelewa na nimeishi miaka kadhaa naelewa haya mambo. Kule kulikuwa na regulation ya kuweka ng'ombe, kuweka kuku, kuweka nini ingine. Any domestic animal was within the urban center, okay? Like the city of Nairobi. You cannot rear animals in the city of Nairobi. You need to obtain license to do that. You need to prove that you have enough space for that to happen, and the animals will not spill over to go and disturb the neighbors. Okay, like if you want to keep whatever you want to keep within the city or the urban center, that is where control is required. Sasa hii ya kwenda kutafuta ng'ombe huko kijijini kwamba zikuwe registered, zinakuwa registered kama nani? Then zikienda kuchinjwa, they will be deregistered. So sisi tukienda nyumbani Christmas, tena chief atasema tusichinje kuku mpaka atuandikie barua, atoe kwa listi ya zile ziko registered. Kenyans, Johnny hapa mniambie maneno. So hii Christmas hakuna kuchinja kuku mpaka tuende kwa chief, tupokee barua, atoe kwa list ya zile registered chicken before we are able to slaughter. William Ruto aende mbali na hiyo wazimu wake, kwa sababu it seems it's idle. It doesn't have what to do. That's why he's engaging himself into what shouldn't be. What does he want to control with chicken and control with animals around the country? Except he wants to, you know, to depossess those people who have animals, and then depossess those who have, so that he can own them by himself. He becomes the sole proprietor of chicken, the sole proprietor of eggs, the sole proprietor of everything. Now, this ought not to be the case. So why is he turning the whole country into city council of Nairobi, where there is control of how many chicken you can rear, where you can rear them, and all that? I think this is madness. I call it madness because I don't see any sense in it. Tuko na kazi mingi katika hii nchi, kazi ambayo inapaswa kufanya. All those semi-arid areas can be put to use. All the issues we have in this country of floods should be solved. Issue of education. How do we attain free quality education is an issue that needs to be solved. Quality health care is an issue that needs to be solved. Why should somebody abandon all that and goes to chase after how many chicken do I have? How many goats do I have? How many sheep do I have? How many cows do I have? For what? So that he can help me with animal feed, or what does he want to do? Amepata sasa animal fertilizer anataka kutukawia. Mambo ingine inakasirisha sana. Haya. Gone are the days. Papa, how are you?
Hey, wanapenda habari yako?
Niko salama. This one that has removed you from hibernation.
Hey, I hope uko poa, hata mimi niko fiti. Lakini sasa tuko tu, sasa unajua inchi ilienda bana. Sasa sisi tumebaki tu kwa shell. Inchi ilienda.
Hii inchi ilienda wapi? Tupatie direction tuende. Tuende.
Mimi niko poa. Siku mingi, lakini sasa mimi niliona hii story ya huyu mama, nikaona ni kama hii December bana mnataka kurudisha sadaka sasa, ama ni aje? Mmekaa bila kumaliza watu, sasa mnataka kuanza kurudisha sadaka ama?
No, ni kubaya kule tunaenda, so tunataka kutisha ili angalau tukuwe na Christmas bila vitisho.
Anyway, tunajua hii ndio matime zao. Bernard, I'm so sorry for Kenyans, me included. I'm so sorry for Kenyans because we don't have anything to claim as a country. Because anything that was left for us, even with our forefathers, ni kama sasa sijui tutasema aje. Because I was told by someone, kuna mzee aliniambia that this building of KICC ati ilijengwa na, it was a rambe that was being done by the forefathers. Ndilijenga hiyo building. Walikuwa natoa kitu kidogo and that building was built. So I'm wondering, like, presidents wenye wamekuja wote wamekuja wakaacha hizi buildings that are so important to us as a country. Why is it that Ruto ndo akuje then change everything? So to me, I just feel like we don't have a country anymore. This country is gone, but we still have more chances to change what can be changed. And what can be changed, Kenyans know. And it's just high time for us to know what should be done. Because wale wenye tulikuwa tunadhania hawako na sisi, I think watu wamechange mindset. Wenye tulikuwa tunajua wana support huu mtu, sasa ni kama wamemruka sasa, because they have seen it by themselves. We used to say it, na wengine walikuwa nadhania that tunachukia Ruto. No one, na hakuna mwenye anachukia Ruto. Ruto anajichukia mwenyewe kulingana na zile vitu amefanya. Anyway, I just came to say hi. It's long time. But ile kitu naweza kumbusha tu wa Kenya ni we don't have a country. And tukizidi kunyamaza, you know, sisi Kenyans kitu inatuumiza ni we are so reluctant. People have been doing these things. Mbona sisi ndio tusifanye? Tusijifanye tuko mzuri, hakuna mwenye ako mzuri. Even the middle class hii kila mtu analia. Ni inabidi tu tujitokeze tu, we stand as a country, because the more we are keeping quiet, hii kitu mkiachilia hata in the next 2 months itakuwa worse. So it is better itengenezwe tu mapema. I will stop by there, but I was just here to say long time nimewamiss, but we are here. Asante.
Okay, thank you, Mr. D. We appreciate that, and this country will recover it. We just need to give it the required effort and the required fight. What we are dealing with is nothing new in the first place. The corruption, the twisting of the truth, the arrest in order to silence people has been part of our history as a people. And so even as we look at what we're experiencing right now, the best way to deal with it is to understand that it's nothing new. And therefore, if it was fought in the past and those that fought it succeeded, we can also fight in our day and win against the same. So we are calling upon us to remain focused, strong in the fight until we win. So don't relent, don't give up. This is the time to speak up. This is the time for you to speak so that you can be heard. This country will be returned to the rightful owners. Wale ambao wanataka kuiba watoroke nayo, siku zao sio nyingi sana. Siku zao sio nyingi sana. Kwa hivyo na kuencourage kama Mkenya ambaye unaamini katika nchi hii na ungependa hii nchi ikuwe bora, usikate tamaa. Tutaikomboa, mimi na wewe tukishirikiana kwa pamoja. Let's watch this video as I wait for you to come into the studio and share what you think about what we are talking about. Asante sana.
Your Honor, we have no objection to the relief of the accused persons from bond. We have no compelling reasons at this stage. And she can be admitted to reasonable conference. Further, Your Honor, we shall be asking for summons to the other 10 accused persons who are before court today.
Kamatwe. Hii ni wazi, ni siasa. Wanataka kutesa mtoto wetu kwa sababu yule mtoto amekuwa upande wa wananchi sana. Hivi karibuni Nyakang'o aliweza kuwatembelea Ishongwa wakiwa na Kalonzo Musyoka. Mnakumbuka ya kwamba kulikuwa na bipartisan talks, na akasema ukweli mtupu ya kwamba mabilioni ya pesa hayako kwenye hesabu kama yeye kama controller budget. Kuna mabilioni ya pesa ambayo yamepotea. Yamepoteaje? Alisema wazi kwamba kuna watu hulipwa mshahara mara 3 lakini hupata mshahara ule mara moja tu. Maana yake kuna mtu wa kupewa 1,100 lakini pale pameandikwa yeye upata 1,300. Anapopokea 1,100, 200 haijulikani huenda wapi, lakini katika control budget zimeandikwa lakini hazijulikani huwa zinaenda na nani au wapi. Pesa hizi Dr. Nyakang'o aliweza kutuambia ni mabilioni ya pesa kufikia saa hizi. Yule dada amekuwa akiongea ukweli kulingana na matumizi mabaya, hasa matumizi ambayo yanafanywa na serikali kila wakati kutembelea nchi zingine bila visababu muhimu. Kwa mfano, kuna wakati alisema kuna hiyo matumizi mabaya kila wakati, mawaziri, raisi, makamu wa raisi, ma-PS wametoka nje, wameenda na ndege kule nchi za nje, wamelipiwa ndege za hali ya juu, standard ya hali ya juu, wanaenda wanaishi kwa mahoteli ya hali ya juu, na aliongea ukweli kuhusu utepetevu huo wa matumizi mabaya wa pesa za wananchi. Basi kwetu sisi tunajua ya kwamba mtamuacha dada yetu aongee ukweli wake, kwa sababu yeye anaongea kuhusu wananchi, na ninampongeza sana, na muachane na huyu dada. Na yule dada hata mkijaribu kumwathiri namna gani nyinyi kama watu wa serikali, yule dada ana siri zake na anazijua kabisa, na bahati mbaya yeye ndio controller wa budget. Mwache aishi maisha yake. Vitu kama hivyo mnamwambia sijui sako, sijui haina license, ni kuanza kumshtua, ashtuke kimaisha, aache kuongea ukweli, aje upande wenu, adanganye wananchi, na yeye anawalilia wananchi kwa sababu mzigo wa kuishi saa hizi umekuwa mgumu sana kwa wananchi. Kumbuka ya kwamba wakati kama huu ndio mwananchi hata kuwekelea chakula mezani kumekuwa ni shida, wengine hata kusomesha ni shida. Na anaposema ukweli ya kwamba matumizi mabaya ya pesa za serikali ipo, matumizi ya mabaya ya resources za serikali ipo, kuna vile watu wanalipwa mishahara mingi kabisa, na pale chini pameandikwa mshahara ni wa kawaida, lakini kwenye budget yule mtu analipwa mara 3. Kwa hivyo naomba serikali achaneni na Nyakang'o. Nyakang'o daktari wetu Margaret ni mtu wetu na yuko upande wa wananchi. Wacheni kumforce aseme mambo ya uongo. Nyakang'o anaongea ukweli. Aya, kuhusu privatization ya nyumba zetu, mashirika yetu, parastato zetu ambazo ni za wananchi, ni mali ya wananchi, sisi tumekataa kabisa, na tumeunga mkono wana ODM ambao waliweza kwenda kule kotini na kuisimamisha. Tumesema mmefanya vizuri. Mashirika ya serikali mnataka kutudanganya. Ukweli ni kwamba kuna uongo pale, kwa sababu mwanzo ilikuwa tuuze mashirika ambayo hayana faida, mashirika ambayo tuna bail out kila wakati wa budget, mashirika kama Kenya Airways, mashirika kama Mumias kule, mashirika kama yale ya sukari huko. Lakini kati ya yale mashirika ambayo hayatengenezi pesa kabisa, mashirika ambayo hayana faida, hakuna moja ambayo linauzwa. Yale ambayo yanauzwa ni yale yana faida. Chukua mfano KICC. KICC haina hasara yoyote. KICC inatengeneza pesa nzuri kila wakati. KICC, kumbuka ya kwamba hata maseneta saa hizi wanaishi pale na inalipwa. Watu wengi kukutana pale imekuwa ni sehemu ya kukutana kwa nchi za nje, international firms wanakutana pale, sisi wenyewe wananchi hapa tunakutana pale. Kwa hivyo wacheni uongo serikali, kwa sababu mnataka kuuza zile ziko na faida ili nyie wenyewe na marafiki zenu mzinunue. Uzeni zile hazina faida. Kwa mfano Kenya Airways kiuza hiyo haina faida kabisa. Nendeni kule kwenye viwanda vya miwa. Kila wakati kama juzi tumewapea bilioni 100 na zile bilioni 100 na zina uwezo wa kuwapa watu madawa na nini. Uza hizo. Tusibail tena, kwa sababu zile pesa tunatumia kubail out farms kama hizo, parastato kama hizo zinatutosha kununua dawa, kulipia watoto shule, kuwapa watoto bursaries. Unaona? Kwa hivyo uzeni kile ambacho tulikubaliana pale mwanzo. Nyinyi watu wa Mwea na watu wa Mount Kenya, wabunge wenu ndio waliweka tik, wakasema ni ukweli na wamekubali hizi parastato ziuzwe pale Mwea. Mbunge wa pale Mwea, acha kudanganya watu wako. Uliwadanganya. Saizi kile kiwanda cha mchere cha pale Mwea kimeuzwa, na wewe mbunge hapo, wewe ndio uliwaambia na ulikuwa bunge kusema ya kwamba kuna haki kiuzwe. Sasa watu wako wanalia, wachana nao. Kule North Rift, KCC, new KCC, wabunge wenu wamekubali iuzwe. Na North Rift mnajua vile maziwa inawasaidia, mnajua KCC.
Haya, ukweli wa mambo hapo unawekwa bayana kwa yeyote yule angependa kuelewa aelewe. Serikali ya William Ruto ni serikali ya maovu tupu, na inataka kutekeleza haya maovu bila kuulizwa swali lolote, na yeyote atakayeuliza swali atakamatwa. So tumerejea katika ile enzi ya Moi ya kutembelewa na them boys, wanakuja kukamata usiku. Tuko karibu kuingia hapo mahali pa watu kudisappear. These are the telltale signs. So Kenyans need to rise up and stop this evil before it goes away with the lives of our intelligent people who love this country and who want this country to move forward. We should not allow that time of people disappearing to return again. That you challenge the administration, you disappear, and without trace. The killings that have taken place in this country are about people who had better ideas on how to govern this country, were all eliminated on the premise that they are challenging akili ndogo kutawala akili kubwa. Na sasa tumerudi hapo hapo ambapo sasa hii akili ndogo inataka kulazimisha akili kubwa kufuata akili ndogo. Haitawezekana. So unataka kuturudisha in the 70s, in the 50s, wakati tumetoka huko kitambo. Unataka kucontrol social media. Naambiwa sasa sahi ukiwa admin wa group, sijui utashikwa, sijui nini. Mtu akipost video ambayo inakashifu serikali, ukishare hiyo video utashikwa. Hizo vitisho zote zinatokana na nini? What makes Ruto think that he can control this current dispensation of leadership? You can only manage this by growing, not by controlling. You must be ahead of the game, not this business of curtailing people and trying to silence people. It is time no longer. You can't use the old tricks to deal with a new epidemic. No. He will not apply a new remedy. He will suffer the damage of that particular sickness. So this is the time for you to learn what you need to learn. And one of it is let the people have the liberty to express themselves. Let them be able to speak up if they are oppressed, and stop the oppression. Stop the oppression. What I don't understand is how William Ruto has borrowed, is it 4.6 trillion, and we can't see it. We can't feel it. We can't, it's nowhere. Where is it? And then they say they are paying debt. Okay, how much debt do we have? How much has been paid? How much is yet to be paid? Why is that covered in mystery that nobody needs to know? Then mukichukua tunaambiwa. Sasa kulipa atuambiwi tumelipa kiasi gani, imebaki kiasi gani. Kila mtu anasema tu tunalipa madeni. We inherited debts. We inherited this debt you inherited. How much was it? How much are you paying? And what are you required to pay at what period of time? So that as a country, we can embrace it and say, kama ni 10 trillion that you're supposed to pay, and our budget is this, we will persevere for 3 years, and within 3 years, we have paid this, so that we persevere another 2 years to finish. You can't tell us how much we owe. You don't want anybody to know. And when questions are raised on how money is being spent, you send your boys to harass those who are questioning. That is evil, unacceptable. So Kenyans of goodwill, stand up, save your country, stop joking around. Namuona mzee Michael Ngika anasema Nuru Okanga amesema hataki uelewano na Ruto. Amesema anataka Raila apewe mbuzi yake mzima. Haya, mambo ni kama hayo. Hii wakati tukikubali tu Ruto aende na vile ameamua kwenda, hii nchi tuisahau. Swali ni kwamba tukiisahau tutabaki na nini? What is left if we let this country go and go in the hands of thugs, in the hands of thieves, in the hands of robbers? What will we gain in getting that? Well, tutaongea kwa kina kwa masuala haya na kukaribisha mahala pote ulipo. Tumakinike tafadhali, endelea kukaribisha mtu, like video, sijui poll tumefika wapi. Tuangalie kwa Sound Country Talk Live 4 votes and 50-50. Okay, 5 now. Hii inakwenda mbio kweli. Okay, we have like what more likes than votes. This is strange. On Sound Country Talk Live, we have more likes than votes. And on the other one, we have more votes than likes. Nataka to balance, okay? Of the 5 votes voted here, 60% say yes and 40% say no. Is the arrest of the control of budget part of the Ruto schemed state capture? He wants to have everybody under his armpit. Is that what's happening? And then, of course, 60% say yes, 40% say no. On Sound Country Talk YouTube channel, 86 votes, 69 likes. Na nimesema tafadhali, kama umepiga kura kabla ulike video, rudi ukalike video. Tunahitaji hizo likes. It helps our ranking on YouTube. Is the arrest of control of budget part of the Ruto schemed state capture? 85% say yes and 15% say no. What is your take on the same? Kama hujapiga kura, hakikisha unapiga kura mapema ili usisahaulike. Wakati tunaanza kufungasha ndio unaanza kusema hujapiga kura, hujaona swali, hujaelewa swali. Nataka tufuai mambo mapema tu, ili tukifunga stesheni kila mtu anaelewa ni kipi kimejiri. Cha muhimu hapa ni kuwa mstari wa mbele. Kabla nimlete Olara, nikukumbusha tu jana tulifunga na watu wangapi ambao walikuwa wanapaswa kuchangia masuala ya kulipa our bills. We stopped at 22. Now we need 20 more people to send us 1,000 shillings each. 20 more people. I think with that, we should be able to close it in this particular show. So 20 more people to send us 1,000 shillings each. Let's take that challenge and get this thing out of the way. The details are here. I will display them on the screen and share them in the comment section. It is simple. If you're using the till number, which is usually applicable locally, that is within the framework of, I think it works in East Africa, in the East African region, but beyond there, inakuwa shida. So you use the till number, which is buy goods, till number 516575, Sound Candy Talk, or you use directly the M-Pesa number, which is +254718454585. Bernard is the name. So tafadhali tunataka hao watu 20 katika kipindi hiki. Okay? Kipindi hiki by the time tunafunga, na tutafunga saa 7 hivi. Okay? So tuko na dakika kama 50 hivi kutamatisha kipindi. Kama wakereketu hao wengine hawatakuja, mimi nang'atuka kwa sababu siku ni mrefu. Cha muhimu tuwe mstari wa mbele. So we have 168 people viewing right now. To get 20 people from that number to send me 1,000 shillings each, hiyo inawezekana. So tafadhali tukue mstari wa mbele. I'll be sharing this in the comment section. Nataka kuona hiyo simu ikitingika wakati wewe respond. Asante sana. Bwana Olara. How are you?
Asante sana Bwana Bennett. I'm fine, sir.
Haya, karibu tupatie revelation. Umeoteshwa?
Niko na maoto kidogo. Ni nzuri. Ukiangalia watu wanaongea kwa sauti, hawasukumi na mwili, ujue nyoyo zao imefikiwa. Na hapo ndo uongofu, yani kutoka kwenye hizo madalala na ujinga, ile ujinga ya kuto kujijua. Unajua tuko na dalala ya kuto kujijua. Hujui thamani yako. Wewe unaangalia tu, wajihesabu tu mtu, ukule tu ugali, ulale, uamke, ama wajiangalia tu wewe ni mfano wa mtu tu. Yaani ukipata chakulala, umelala ukaamka, basi unajiona hivyo. Wakenya wameshapita hiyo ujinga. Hiyo ndio ujinga. Naangalia zaidi pale Mount Kenya, wenzetu waliweza kupiga makanisa ambayo ilimpeleka Ruto pale. Sasa hizi atafanya kampeni yake nje ya makanisa, hatafanya kampeni kwenye makanisa tena. Alitumia vibaya, na Mungu naye ni nani? Akarudisha hiyo kitu haraka sana. Watu saa hizi vile Biblia inatuambia mwili wako ndo kanisa, tumejurudilia. Watu wameanza kujifahamu vizuri zaidi. Kiwango cha ufisadi ambayo inaendelea sasa hivi, alafu juzi kwenye Senate pale wakaita mawaziri wote wabovu tu, lakini hawakuita waziri ambaye tulikuwa tunataka kumuona ana kwa ana. Waziri mmoja tulikuwa tunataka kumuona ana kwa ana, waziri wa energy na waziri wa hela. Waziri wa hela nilikuwa nataka tumuulize tu, mpaka saa hizi amelipa pesa ngapi, ametulipia, na alafu balance sheet. Najua wanapost pale kwenye portal pale, lakini Wakenya wanapenda kusikiza. Nataka hiyo balance sheet iletwe, ya kwamba tunadaiwa kiasi, mwezi wetu tumelipa kiasi fulani, mwezi wetu tumelipa kiasi fulani, mwezi. Alafu pia tumekopa pesa ngapi. Hiyo kitu lazima iko a simple spreadsheet. Upande wa kulia ni gains, upande wa kushoto ni loss. Bado tunajua ngapi na inapungua kiasi gani, na hapo upande hicho fani. Alafu tunataka kuleta huu waziri wa Chirchir, huyo alisema nini? Alikuwa na cushion hiking of the oil or the gasoline or whatever what you call it. Alikuwa na the energy cost. He was suggesting that petrol should go up to 300. The worst has never happened. Oil flow, the only time the hikes happen is when now Yemen is now the war in Gaza is now targeting Yemen state there. That small state there, a lot of ships are passing there. Maybe when you see that, maybe we can predict that maybe the oil price will go up. But now, everything is flowing correctly. Lakini, the hypocrisy of our executive. Ruto alipitisha sheria moja hatari sana pale ya kwamba nini, when government is dealing with parastatals, including selling them, Parliament has no veto, Parliament has no role in it. It's only him to sell it alone. How can you sell a national interest alone? Hiyo ni kitu lazima tuwe na tuiangalie kwa kina sana. Alafu cha pili, he killed the parliament, literally. Parliament, they're discussing about the length of skirts. Parliament discussing about who's dressing how. Alafu both speakers, there's nothing substantiative they bring there as a Akiwetangula. That guy, he looks bright. But I don't know if Mossad has something against him. Maybe that he was put there as a speaker because he had a lot of corruption cases which can be pricked anytime. And this is my suspect. His moral compass, I think, is one thing. That's why you see they pick such character to pass everything and anything. Lakini Mungu naye yuko tu. And I've seen one brave parliamentarian who just said, we are just earning money out of nothing. Parliament is practically dead. We can't contravene government policy. We cannot suggest new policies. We cannot. Government is borrowing beyond the legislated budget. Government is doing everything it wants. The executive is doing everything it wants. This is the tragedy of what I've always said. When politics become an industry, and I prayed many times here, our politics is an industry. You find an MP like Salasia dashing out money, just living splendid, having a compound within 1 year, having 3 V8s there, showing off the. Then you ask yourself, where is the? Because if he took a land, okay, he took the loan for buying house, he could not have 3 Land Cruisers in this compound. He could not have a complete built house within. Then is another part. The worst part is the CDF money. I wish the executive could just help us and take the CDF money out of our politics. The amount of damage is doing to our moral fiber, that money. It makes MPs richer. It makes them gods in their villages. It makes them bury somebody politically. It makes them build a school politically. It makes them. It's just a tool in their hands to enhance their ill-gotten, because the executive will not caution them on that because they've already been bought. Now, what executive does, they don't care. But the only thing they did meaningful today is just to walk out of the parliament because the CDF money is not trickling down to them. So now, basically, if you look at it correctly, we only have one arm of the government. Both parliament and executive are one arm, and half of judiciary is already also there, i.e. we have a total dictatorship. Total dictatorship. Be it though, if your moral compass still works, they will use the executive will use the same judiciary to fight you back, and they'll finish you. So now, what are we left by? Kenyans will go into hunger. We will not even feed our kids. We don't have education system. What we'll have chaos. And the chaos, the civil society are busy eating up the NGOs money, putting up projects for donors, and the donors are busy bringing in the new colonialism systems, injecting our women with all type of hormones, experimenting on us. The imperialists are here because we have never chosen a president for so long. The evil is here. He's here with his God. He's here with his education. He's here with everything. And if we resist, we want to govern ourselves correctly, that evil can bomb you to Stone Age. You can see it in Gaza. Please, let's be wise. Existential threat that we are facing as Black people is real. We have to be more self-conscious. Just take this, whatever you have in mind, be philosophical in your looking. We have something called existential threat. And it starts with a puppet president, with a political system. Now with IMF, all hands on coming into an economy, what will it happen? What next will happen? They'll just even appoint a chief next time. Not even because we have declared our parliament malfunction, and no Western country is calling out the Ruto out of order. No, they are just quiet. The scheme is working correctly. The education system is working correctly. Our belief system is looking up to north. We're not looking up to September when we actually how the sun works. Please. We are going to be extinct like New Zealand, like Australia, with all those schemes in hand here. Please, don't look at it just locally. Look at it as something which is substantive. And we Africans, we have to go back to our spirituality. Let's recall our grandfather. Let's recall our ancestors. Maybe it's a time. Asante. I'm done.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Olara. We appreciate that. Na hii kazi tutaifanya, lakini itahitaji kila mtu ajitokeze. Haiwezi fanywa na wachache. Hii ni ya kufanywa na wote. Na I think we need to get back to loving our country and loving our region in terms of placing value on what we have. I think some Kenyans don't see the value of this country. I had lunch with somebody today, and from the conversation, you would tell he would do anything to support his community or his tribesman at the expense of the country. It's crazy how people have become so narrow-minded that they think they can survive in a bad Kenya as long as they are a bad man is leading and, of course, dropping something small for them. We need to get back to that time when we had people who laid down their lives for the country and believed that improving Kenya is improving the life of every Kenyan and making resources available to each and every Kenyan, affordable or whatever, education, accessibility to education, accessibility to healthcare, accessibility to, development, is enhancing the betterment of the country and in the process improving on the livelihood of Kenyans. We have gone so individualistic in our thinking to an extent whereby when somebody assumes public office, he thinks he holds it on his behalf and probably on behalf of his family. We don't think Kenyan anymore. We don't think holistic anymore. Everybody is a member of parliament for himself, his wife and children, and he cares less about this country. I believe we will do much better if we believed in this country enough to fight to preserve it. And now, like the fight that we are having right now on the issues of the sale of parastatals, this should not be just a talk of the mouth. This should have sparked off riots everywhere in the country, because these are resources that belong to this country and were paid for by taxpayers, and some of them through harambes that Kenyans had to part with their chicken, had to part with their whatever, their valuables in order for them to be built. Then somebody casually talks about selling them off simply because he thinks they are not profitable. In my understanding, let us wake up to realize that we will never have enjoyed this country if we continue inflicting pain in some Kenyans because we must make people comfortable in their folly within this country. I really want everybody to wake up and realize our country is at stake. Our future is at stake. We must rise up, speak up, and refuse to succumb to the pressure to accept the status quo and helplessly look like hakuna kile kitu tunaweza kufanya. We can do all things. Let's wake up. Polycarp anasema the poll question pops blank. You refresh your browser. I check over and over. Probably maybe on phone it only pops once or something. I don't know. But you restart your phone or something, you will be able to get the question and be able to vote. I appreciate all that have voted. And we are finalizing our challenge today. We are still looking for the 20 people among ourselves who will support us to pay our bills for this month. This is what we do here as a culture. Some of you who are here for the first time, everybody volunteers to send whatever they can to help us sustain the running of this show and other shows that we run during the day. And we believe that by reason of our engaging here, we are going to help in the shaping of the future of this country in the right direction. So please don't hesitate to be on the forefront in ensuring that you participate in keeping the show running by you helping us pay our bills. So asante kwa wale ambao mshatuma na wale ambao bado fikirieni haraka tumalize hii maneno leo kwa kipindi hiki. Kuna video naenda kucheza kadhaa hapa, naomba ukasikilize kwa makini, kisha kama unaingia studio ingia mapema. Masaa ndio haya naanza kukatika. Ikifika masaa yangu mimi nakata, tunasonga mbele. Haya, kumekuwa na kizaazaa. Wabunge wa Gusiland walienda kutoa press conference na inaonekana hawakukubaliana vizuri, ama yule alienda kuongea akaongea masuala ambayo hayakufurahisha wengine, kwa hivyo they walked out. Let's just look at that and see what's happening in our country.
Authoritatively today, and I've told my colleagues here, and I will continue to say it to the Gusii community. Whatever is happening is not any doing of the president. Whatever is happening, and if you have noticed, and I've told my colleagues, anytime something is being cooked by those people who think they have the powers around our party leader, around the president, they always wait for him to leave the country.
It is systematic.
We have seen it in every single, we have seen it in every,
the president is involved.
We have seen it.
Has been attacking our community. The president
knows.
You're going to talk. You're going to say. No. The president is.
I will say this. I will say this by saying.
The president is attacking our community.
The one thing
we cannot allow that. No.
Yeah.
The president is targeting the Kisii community.
Can I give you the seat when you finish?
Targeted William Masita from policy holders. Now it is this, madam. You're defending the president.
So I am speaking and I am giving my speech so that people can understand. Because these are the things that are happening. It happened even during my time when I was being removed. And this is not doing of the president. And so what we are going to say, and I will continue to say, is that the president has nothing to do with this. And as a matter of fact, because we signed the Kenya Kwanza Women Charter, I am here because I'm also upset because it is a woman leader who is being removed, because it is a woman who is being victimized. And so I want to say that those powers that be, or they think that surround there, at the end of the day, the president has got the interest of the Abagusi community, but we urge him to come forward and stop this because our community is actually being targeted. So therefore, this is the message that I have sent. This is the message that I continue to give to my people, and I will even continue to tell my leaders. Thank you.
This is Legrand from Simple Generations.
Now, this is the disease.
These are paid
we
gun.
suffer from as Kenyans.
These are paid gun. A paid gun.
Is it not even pay? It's volunteer. Volunteer. Yes, she is volunteering to cover up what is obvious. Who is she to speak on behalf of Ruto? She should have said, I made a phone call and Ruto told me he doesn't have any hand in this. Not to come and begin to divert the attention of Kenyans by deceiving them in broad daylight. I mean, this is what makes me miss people like Wangare Maathai. People who stood up and spoke the truth to power. Sasa hawa ndio kina mama ati wataongoza kina mama. Wataongoza wakipeleka wapi? You cannot call a press conference to tell us that Ruto did not do. Tell us what he did. And I'm happy that the men had to stand up and say, no, this is not right. What we are simply drawing here is clear. There is nothing to that magnitude. Arresting the control of budget that should take place without Ruto knowing. What is this woman thinking? We are stupid? Every arrest that takes place in this country, especially for prominent people, it must be sanctioned from State House. The demolitions in Mavoko were sanctioned by State House. The demolitions in Milimani, Kakamega were sanctioned by State House. State House is the corrupt center of all corruption in this country. Now, Sawa ndio nominated. I don't know. May God save this country.
Bwana Bernard, naogopa risasi itumike karibuni. Kuna a deliberate association will be happening soon because now the thing is getting out of hand. And those guys, they are so desperate, maybe judiciary alone cannot be sustaining them. And this is the tragedy of trajectory I'm seeing. And maybe your followers, our panelists here will hate me for that. But I like to be on the side of saying something that I see. And I have a lot of respect. You have allowed me to say something that maybe sometimes you don't see. I can see. You have allowed me to that thing. Let me tell you the evil of what is happening now. You see, the one thing that I've realized, the NSSF is bankrupt. Hii ni jasho ya wazazi wetu na jasho yetu sisi wengine, na hiyo is what, if you go to America, it's called social security. Social security is something which is holding you up. And especially, we are living in a meager salary. Everything is meager. Your life in Nairobi was a meager. You unaishi na sukuma na ugali. Maybe you are a watchman. Maybe you are something. Maybe you are, you see, you've lived a meager life for almost 30 years. Then your contribution is what is going to supposedly to sustain you in the accordingly. When you retire, you get something and handsome from the company. Then you get a regular sustainable token out of your savings. You see, Atoli left that monies out. I don't know what Ruto had against him. After Ruto was sworn in, amekunja mkia yake kama ile nini, what we call it, umbwa ile alafu ikiangalia kitu hivi tu hivi inarusha mkia yake ndani. Atoli alirusha mkia yake ndani. Sasa the worst part is, in my prediction, if we'll have another handshake, if Raila will have another handshake, then complete sellout of this country will happen. I would allow your new guest to come in because I know your time is limited. Let me allow your new guest to come in. I can sit here.
Thank you, Mr. Olara. It's sad, but I don't think there is any handshake. A handshake with this kind of regime, Baba would rather resign, achukue fimbo yake, ateremke Bondo, endelee na ukulima, than enter into a handshake with this kind of an administration. What are you saving by a handshake? The handshake was to save the country. Right now, the country is gone. What will you be saving with a handshake? In my opinion, it's uncalled for. And whoever that is dreaming of a handshake is not there. It's our what do I call them? Naive amateur political analysts who are seeing handshake. I don't see any handshake here. How do you support William Ruto to loot the country as a statesman of the caliber of Baba? I don't think he will mar himself to that, especially when he's in the wee hours of his life. He would want to be remembered better at his exit than at his entry. And so I don't think he will be dragged into that, although they have pushed him through all means to go for that handshake. It's not working, and it's my prayer it never works. Let it never work. William Ruto ajikaange na mafuta yake, akimaliza aende kula na alitoka. Lakini ati kuingia kwa hiyo sufuria kumsaidia kujikaanga, hakuna haja. Hakuna haja. Kama baba ameshindwa kabisa, afungashe vitu, sisi tutamuimbia chorus akienda Bondo. Alafu sisi tutachukua hiyo nafasi kudili na Ruto mpaka Ruto asalimu amri. Lakini eti handshake ya kukua nini tena? Masomo ndio hayo. Umesema NSSF. Atuali ndo alisema mkiacha huyu mtoto atachukua NSSF kwa mgongo na Central Bank apeleke Sugoi. Alisema yeye amesimama kila mara kuzuia Ruto asiweke watu wake kwa NSSF kwa sababu amekula NHIF. So what happened? When he pocketed Atuoli, now NSSF is a share. NHIF is dead. What will you be going for handshake for? We don't need this administration in this country at all. And we don't need this government. Government is not a necessity when it becomes a burden. Hii ni serikali ya kunyonya, hii serikali ya kubebwa, serikali ya kubembelezwa. Sisi hatuhitaji serikali ya kubembeleza. Tuko na matatizo mengi sana ambayo yanatusumbua. So Ruto na timu yake wajipange, na Wakenya tusikubali kubebwa ujinga. Ruto hajafanya chochote tangu aingie kwa ofisi. Kazi yake ni kutenga, kupanga. Tumepangia, tunasema. Tulisema, tunarudia. Hakuna kitu kinafanyika. Na katika hiyo hali anataka kupigwa makofi. Na anaenda kudanganya dunia nzima ati yeye ni mwokozi. Mwokozi wa nani? Kenyans, let's stop the madness. Let's end this nightmare in this country once and for all. So if there is anything at all about William Ruto, is his removal from office. How he gets removed, may God use the best means to get rid of him. But the earlier is out of the way, the better for this country, once and for all.
Told us, oh, you remember that project that you are being told about? There is nothing on the ground. Sometimes we go there, we find the contractor running to the site with building materials. We have seen a lot of foreign travel, which is wasteful. MCAs who go in large groups to foreign countries, there is totally no accountability. They do not produce any reports on what they have learned from where they went, and such like things. We have seen distortion of investment. You find somebody bringing a 13-year-old car and saying they paid 4 million shillings. So, generally, looking at the way the requisitions are made, you can see a deliberate effort to defraud public funds. So what are we doing about it? My office intends to automate the exchequer process so that we reduce the human interactions. However, there is a caveat. I cannot automate on my own. And I believe that when my colleague from the National Treasury will be coming here, they will tell us the process, the progress of automating, because, Honorable Chair, that would solve a lot of the issues that we have. We also feel that requirements for approval of foreign travel should be tightened. There should be accountability forwards and backwards. If indeed people are traveling out, then can they be accountable? Can they tell us what they want to do and how it is going to help the country? In fact, at some point, I used to see, I think it was the World Bank, that used to ask for an essay on what you think you are going to learn from the training that you are going for. And when you come back, You tell us what you have learned and how we are going to apply it. My office has developed some guidelines to guide on most of these things, but again, we need a strategy for enforcement, because a lot of times, when I try to raise questions on requisitions, the governors are on my case. They don't want questions. They say, just give us the money. When I ask them how they will account for it, they tell me, we will deal with the auditors, not with you. That, Honorable Chair, has been a big problem. The supporting documentation to access many of these claims are normally defective. And this is something we can work if we have a whole of government approach where we agree that if requisitions are not properly supported, then they do not succeed.
Having said that, it is also indeed very important that we note there are politicians who need to learn from the likes of Lawrence Sifuna. Those who wait until the president is out of the way, out of the country, and then they list national assets and put them for sale. Mr. Speaker, sir, we want to urge these leaders who sit near the high offices that it's important to note that it cannot, and we cannot accept them, to put such an important national heritage like the KICC for sale. Mr. Speaker, sir, I want today to add my voice. I want to join the likes of Lawrence Sifuna. I want to join the likes of Koigo Amwere, that we cannot let a few people take it for granted that they can do or live what they want to do in this country. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is becoming quite unfortunate that a few individuals, Mr. Speaker, sir, whom we've worked with so hard and promising the Kenyans that will ensure the cost of living comes down, Mr. Speaker, sir, instead of them working with us in tandem, they are going and auctioning anything that they can lay their hand on. This we must stand as a house and oppose. Mr. Speaker, sir, today I want to start in the same spirit of Lawrence Sifuna and say this country belongs to all of us. It cannot take our parents so many years to put things where they are today, and then we get to here, Mr. Speaker, sir, people bought edible oil that is toxic. They spent billions of shillings. This cannot be sold. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is time that we call these people and tell them enough is enough and they must stop. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is such a moment when we are given an opportunity to reflect on the things that are happening in this country, that we ask ourselves, are some of these people serious? Mr. Speaker, sir, just the other day, I led a statement from none other than one of our colleagues who's been sitting in this house, a Minister of Infrastructure and Transport, saying that centers, cars that have been bought by hustlers, that they should be banned from the road. Mr. Speaker, sir, I ask, are we losing our senses, Mr. Speaker, sir? When must we realize that we must work for Kenyans? Mr. Speaker, sir, in the same spirit of Lawrence Sifuna, I want to tell Kenyans that yes, we must stand up and we will not let anybody take advantage of you. We are going to pursue justice until we bring it to the logical conclusion. Because this is the spirit, Mr. Speaker, sir. When we are gone, like Lawrence Sifuna is gone, we want somebody to stand in this out and say, he stood as a senator and stood for the justice of the people. I start to be counted as those who will fight for the justice of the people, regardless of the people who are pushing and waiting. Only when the president is away of the country, they put national assets for sale. It is unacceptable, Mr. Speaker, sir, and I urge my colleagues to stand up and oppose this. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Senator Eddie.
Okay, thank you. Bwana Lara, inaonekana, what is your issue with my being on the studio? When we play the video, we get off the screen, and when the video is over, we get back. That's how it works. All in all, because of the interest of time, I would want to give that opportunity to Mr. Harun to make his submission. But before that, I will say one thing about what that senator has said and what the control of budget has said. This government, this country has to be saved from these corrupt deals, this hypocrisy, okay, of dragging, making believe. We can't run the country by make believe. We must work out something that is tangible and able to be translate into the transformation of the livelihood of the Kenyan people. If it's a road, let there be a road construction, not appearance that there is road construction when there isn't. If there is money allocated for any project, let that money be spent for that particular project and let Kenyans see that money working for them. Not this pretentious stealing from the Kenyan people and then turning around and clearing your mouth like the chicken from my village. Okay, there is this Ndung Harun, before Mr. Harun talks, there is this Ndung Harun says that President Ruto, who was the deputy president for 10 years, majority leader in the National Assembly, Kimani Ichung'wah, who was wherever majority leader, and who was, okay, let me see, it's not clear, was the chairman of the budget committee for 8 years, and CS Duale, who was the majority leader in the National Assembly for 8 years, CS Kipchumba Murkomen, who was the majority leader in the Senate for 8 years, and Attorney General Muturi, who was the Speaker of the National Assembly for 10 years in the previous government, are now busy cleaning the mess of the previous government. Mr. Harun.
Yes, Mr. Bernard, I hope unanipata kwa njia mwafaka kabisa.
Yeah, umefika. Karibu.
Asante sana, pokea salamu zangu Mesolara, ndugu zangu na dada zangu ambao mko comment section. Basi ningependa kusema namna hii kuwa unajua wakati unapo speak truth to power it has got its own consequences. Na niliwaambia vizuri wakati wa hii NBG, niliwaambia vizuri huyu mama vile ameongea namna hii mambo kuna mambo ambayo yatamfuata. Kwanza kabisa niliwaambia kuwa angepandishwa cheo. Kitu cha pili, angefutwa kazi. Jambo la tatu, angeuliwa. Jambo la nne, angetiwa korokoroni. So inakuanga hivyo when you speak truth to power. Yani ukiruka hii moja mesabana hii nyingine inakunyofoa. So inakuanga namna hiyo. But ningependa kusema namna hii. Hawa ya kina Ichung'wah hawa, wakati huyu mama alisema kuwa Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta wamechukua pesa na magunia ni nini wakitoka State House, niliona ya kina Ichung'wah wana celebrate. Sasa wakati mama amekuja akawaguza, sasa hivi ndio unaona wamemweka katika hiyo bracket ya mambo maine. Mimi nilikuwa nafikiria maybe wangempandisha cheo, lakini bana wamebackdate makosa mpaka 2016. Kweli. Lakini mimi ningependa kuambia William Samoei Ruto kuwa Ruto lazima ajue kuwa hata sisi ni viongozi. Mesolara ni kiongozi, yakina Hana, yakina Tuni hawa, everybody is a leader. So hii nafasi ambayo kidogo tumepatia ambayo William Samoei Ruto amejipatia, ama usoewa mwenye ako yani mahali popote tu, hata uwe pale kwa wewe ndio you are a father, mother, yani kuna ka section unaongoza. Usifikirie kuwa hakuna mtu mwingine anaweza, yani hiyo nafasi haiwezi ikachazwa na mtu mwingine. No. So William Samoei Ruto akiwa sasa kama yeye ndio the so called president of Kenya, asija akawa anaringa sana, anafikiria kuwa yeye ndio peke yake kiongozi ambaye tuko naye Kenya. No, 52 million people. Kama naweza hisi njaa niende nile akili yangu iniongoze kuwa naona chakula pale, ame leader. So ndio ningependa kusema kuwa in fact wakati wewe kama president usije ukafikiria kuwa sasa wewe ndio uko na power, yani ile nguvu uko nayo hakuna mtu mwingine anaweza kuwa nayo. No, ni ile tu sisi wote mesolara mesabana hatuwezi kuwa viongozi. Tunapatia tu mmoja anapewa nafasi angalau aonyeshe wengine njia kwa kusikiza their opinions. Ushaona? So analeta akikwisha kusanya zile opinions zao ama maoni yao, akiyaweka kwa pamoja, then kutoka hapo unaona inji ama any organization ikimove forward. Alafu jambo lingine, wakati wewe ni kiongozi, kuna mambo ya checks and balances. Hizo lazima ziwe hapo. Hata kama unafanya vizuri, lazima mtu akushtue, akwambie hapana, sioni kama hii kitu unafanya vizuri, ndio usije ukajisahau. Na sasa mtu kama William Samoei Ruto akiwa amejisahau namna hii, wakati Nyakang'o anamwambia kuwa Mr. William Samoei Ruto, hii government yako umeiachilia manze, jamaa hata panya hawezi akapata karatasi yoyote kwa Central Bank as we speak. Haistahili anini asikie ubaya, amtendee hii unyama yenye amemtendea leo ya kumkamata. What William Samoei Ruto angefanya kama yeye hakika ni kiongozi mzuri, angeona ni wapi hapa huyu mama, cause yeye ndio mkaguzi wa mahesabu ya serikali. Cause once every ministry, wizara yoyote inapofanya any budget, basi pesa zikitoka kutoka kwa Treasury, lazima ajue kuwa ministry fulani imepewa such and such amount of money. So na wakati hiyo pesa, wakati anapofanya maybe pita zake pale, kuza kuna timu yake, akiona hakika pesa zilitoka na hazikufanya kazi ambayo inastahili, ndio unaona kuwa anakuja anaeleza president ama kiongozi mwenye yupo kuwa in fact tuliona kuwa zile requisition ambazo zilikuwa made na pesa zikatoka, but kuna mahali mahesabu haingiani vizuri. So as a president inastahili you question wale wenye umepatia kazi pale, ndio at least waajibike. Kazi ya wale ambao unaongoza izidi kufana na kuwa smart for the betterment of livelihood ya Wakenya. But wakati inapofikia William Samoei Ruto anatake this trajectory, so which means kuna kitu ambacho William Samoei Ruto anahofia, na maybe kuna unajua William Samoei Ruto is using Mr. Bernard our security intelligence vibaya. Maybe kuna kitu security intelligence ambao wako under Haji wamemwambia kuwa huyu mama kuna kosa ameliona, na ili kosa lenye ameliona katika mahesabu likifika kwa public domain, bas Mr. Ruto, you are cooked. Nao tutafanya aje? Wacha tumtafutie kosa, either tumnyamazishe, kama hii issue ya 765 member nini hawa nini viongozi wenye waliandamana na William Samoei Ruto kwenda Dubai, maybe kuna vile angekuja atuelezee mahesabu yenye hiyo umati ilitumia, na ingeletea William Samoei Ruto shida. So ndio wao wenyewe wamnyamazishe, lazima wamtendee haya yenye wamemtendea, ama kuna vile wanamshuku kuwa hizi mambo ya dozayas security intelligence iko behind huyu haya masaibu yenye huyu mama anayoyapitia as we speak at this very moment. So Mr. Bernard, ningependa tu kuachia hapo, maybe Mr. Olara anaweza dive in, alafu tutazidi kuongea hata mambo ya Gloria nayo nitayazungumzia, huyu member, huyu nominated senator kutoka kwetu Bobasi, nitazungumzia baadaye hata nimeona there is issue ya CDF, zile MPs wanapigana pale, mambo ni mingi, niko area. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Bwana Harun, for that, and thank you every other Kenyan for your participation into the show. We continue to remind you, we are still looking for the 20 people to send us their contribution towards the paying of bills. Details ziko hapo kwa screen. Tumia, kama unaangalia na screen ndogo, nitaweka kwa comment section, tumia hizo. Bwana Olara, kama una la kuongezea, anza kuongezea kwa sababu muda ndio huo, na leo sitaki kukaa kama jana.
Mi sikosi cha kuongezea, lazima niongezee. Unasikia, majuto ni mjukuu. Majuto ni mjukuu. Na alafu utangulizi wako Bwana Bernard umesema wanasiasa waenda bungeni wakisema tu kabila yangu, barabara ya kwetu, barabara ya nani, barabara ya kila, yani hiyo I will term it kama ni ushenzi wa kisiasa. Rais akipora nchi, ni rais wetu nini, ni ushenzi wa kisiasa. Sisi hatuna nchi, tuna makabila ndani ya nchi, imewekwa pamoja na sheria, na pindi sheria haitumiki inakuwa tu ni one man syndrome. Matokeo ni hayo. Hawa watu wamekubali tuwa wajinga kisiasa kwa muda mrefu sana, Uzalendo wetu ni kutetea mwanakijiji wetu, MCA wetu, kutetea mbunge wetu. Hii ndio uzalendo wetu. Na hiyo imefanyika, haikufanyika vile kisudfa hadi imefanyika tu. Hiyo kitu it was targeted. Our politics is still divide and rule. The same tactics ambayo imetumika na wazungu, na sisi bado tumenaswa. Our economy imenaswa, everything imenaswa. Na hii education system hiyo, kuna juzi hapa nilikwambia Bernard, this is our time now to speak up. Education system, kuna some rituals itolewa kwenye ile education system, including our military. We are still playing Scotland trumpet, tukizika rais wetu. We don't know what that means. Tunawasha ma candles on our birthdays. If you go to the history of the candles itself, it's a demon you're bringing into your house. It's a demon of dark ages of Europe we're bringing into our houses. We have a white gown marriages. These are all demons. It's demonizing our. That's why you have gay children. We have gay propagandists. And Ruto came in office. Let me tell you one thing, Ruto, Bwana Bernard. Ruto was a compromise president because they knew he had a baggage of 207 and ICC. He was given presidency with a set agenda, which was set out clearly. You're going there, you're going to do exactly that. The first one was the gay thing. The second one, the secret IMF condition that he was given, and be a puppet to look like he was given access to Macron. Macron was allowing him to speak down to him, what. He looked so philosophical. That was all agenda. These are just an agenda. Macron cannot stomach president of Burkina Faso. He cannot stomach president of Niger. Why should he allow somebody from Francophone, from Anglophone, to come and speak him down like that? Oh, you see, Frank, we have to do this. Well, you green light agendas. That was all orchestrated. It was all orchestrated.
Yeah, naona Mr. Bernard Solara ametupa nje. Yeah. So
Tawaza, wewe ukoja hansi, endelea na sentence yake. It was orchestrated.
Yeah, by the way, hata mimi niliona William Samoei Ruto akiwa anamnyamazisha Macron kuhusu mambo ya hizi interest rate zenye zinapeanwa na IMF. Unajua alikuwa anasema kuwa Afrika sisi interest rate yetu wanga inakuwa juu as compared na European nations. I hope Mesolara alikuwa anaenda huko. So I saw that conversation. Ndio jamaa sasa alikuwa anajaribu kushow off. Sasa ndio ilikuwa yani unajua nchi za European wao wako na enough resources, hata maybe huenda wanaweza ishi without hizi loans za hapa na pale, but in Africa tunapewa loans, tunakuja tunaifanyia kishakahola style. tunaimumunya. Sasa tukishaimumunya, when do you expect hawa jamaa watatupatia respect kuwa hakika, yani at least na wewe unajionyesha kuwa uko na nguvu financially, whereby mtu akitaka kukupatia loan alafu akwambie lipa na interest ya juu, unaweza mwambia I can stay minus your loan. Lakini sasa sisi always tunaenda na kisahani empty, tunapewa kwa chakula, tukikuja tunameza au kwa chakula, na hatuwezi tukapakisha kidogo tena tunarudi pale tukiwa tumeweka magoti chini. Hakuna respect. Nakwambia sasa hivi 6 years down the line we are living kwa masses of IMF and even European nations kupitia kwa donations. It is really sad. It is really sad, Mr. Bernard. Look right now, Uhuru na Ruto combined 6 trillion loan. Gachagua, Ruto, 1 year combined 6 trillion ya Ruto Gachagua 4 trillion 1 year, yote inakuja 10 trillion. Sasa haujakuja mambo ya China ilimpatia William Samoei Ruto 150 billion. Hii yenye alisema kuwa yani Xi Jinping aliona tu nimefika hivi, akasema najua tu kuna kamsaada unahitaji ka 1000 billion US dollars, akaweka kwa meza. So ongeza kwa hiyo mazee, yani tunaishi kwa madeni. Ndio unaona Madam Nyakang'o anasema kuwa we are borrowing, tuna borrow hizi pesa ni kana kwamba vile mtu una you borrow fuliza, alafu wewe unaikanyagia maji pombe, unasahau kuwa katoto kako kadogo kanahitaji ndizi. So wakati unaporudi nyumbani, kadonyele katakwambia kuwa dadi, uliniletea ndizi, wewe unakuja ukistaga namna hii, hauna chochote. So hata sisi Afrika, moso Kenya, tuko namna hiyo. Cause hebu niambie, hawa jamaa kama hakika walipewa in 10 years walipewa 6 trillion, hiyo pesa wangekuwa wameilipa yote, sasa hivi hatungekuwa tunabebeshwa hiyo nini hiyo mzigo, but waliikunywa wakamaliza. So sasa hivi tunalipa maybe Uhuru and Ruto huenda kila mmoja akona na 1 trillion or 2 trillion kwa mfuko yake yani. Sasa ukiunganisha na hii ya one man show ya William Samoei Ruto, yeye unajua kwa hiyo 4 trillion huenda anaweza kunywa peke yake 3 trillion. Nakwambia huyu jamaa akitoka uongozini, maybe he will be the richest man in Africa vile namuona. Cause kama unapewa 4 trillion in 1 year, na hiyo pesa hatuoni ikileta any impact. It is really sad. So wakati Madam Nyakang'o kama alligator Unajua alligator akitoka kwa maji akwambie kuwa my mom is sick. Jua tu mama ni mgonjwa, tafuta mbinu yoyote ya kuokoa maisha ya mama. So wakati Madam Nyakang'o amekuja tu akaambia William Samoei Ruto, I say ndio ujiokoe 2027 ama any elections, manze kuna fuja. Sasa yeye ndio huyu anagandamiza mama mwenye amemwokoa William Samoei Ruto. Huyu mama akiwa nakwambia William Samoei Ruto is not God. Huyu mama amemwokoa juzi tu wakati alisema kuwa hizi mambo ya foreign travel inatumia pesa mingi sana. William Samoei Ruto akasema hiyo budget nimeicut na sio kwa mara ya kwanza alikuwa anasema 500 million, akasema nimeicut na kitu kama 10 million or 10 billion or 20 billion. Kuna vile alisema kuwa sasa budget ya kutravel nimeikata. So vile aliikata, hiyo ilikuwa yani ni jambo mzuri kwa William Samoei Ruto kuonyesha Wakenya kuwa hakika anaweza, kitu cha kwanza, kurespect opinions ya wale watu ambao amepatia kazi. Hata sisi tungemrespect. Alafu jambo lingine, at least kupitia kwa hiyo sasa kukata hiyo foreign travel kwa hawa viongozi wengine na nini ama hiyo budget, at least tungeanza kuwa na trust kuwa hakika William Samoei Ruto kuna vile anasikiza maoni ya wale wenye amepatia uongozi katika ministry kwa kutuokolea pesa zetu, na at the end of the day maisha yetu yatakuwa bora. Sasa hebu niambie, ataleta mtu yake hapo, he's going to bring someone maybe from his community ama community ya kutoka shareholding aweke hapo. Hao watu kama ataweka anyone kwa hiyo kazi ya control of budget, wao hawatamwambia ukweli, watanyamaza. Na wakinyamaza namna hii, hawatakuwa wanafanyia William Samoei Ruto justice, cause huyu mama vile yeye alimuelekeza namna hiyo, kama William Samoei Ruto angemwacha angalau aendelee kuunearth ule uozo wenye uko kwa hii government yake, na yeye aanze kurekebisha, then before ifike 2027 atakuwa amejiokoa. Lakini kiburi ya William Samoei Ruto ni hii ya kusema kuwa you don't bother now because popularity itakuwa iko na muda wake. You don't need to be popular now. Ni lini? Maybe 2026 ndio unleash hizo pesa zenye amekuwa akikanyagia kwa Tetugege community, cause Tugege community I'm very sure kuna wengine hawata reform. Unajua kuna mtu amesabana, hata ukimweka kwa kinu tu umgonge kabisa, hawezi akaona kuwa William Samoei Ruto anamzamisha ama anasamisha kisasi chake chenye kinakuja. So mimi ningependa kusema kuwa this is a sad day kwa Kenya, kwa sababu niliangalia huyo mama, sijui kama Hana uliona huyo mama Nyakang'o. Yani unajua Madam Nyakang'o sijamfahamu, sijui Mr. Bernard wakati amekuwa kotini. Huyo mama ni mama ambaye anajihurumu vizuri. I don't know, ni kama walikuwa wanataka kumfrustrate. It is really bad because ile grooming ya huyo mama kutoka kwa sura nini, haikuwa, ni kama walimwambush maybe kutoka kwa nyumba ama kutoka kwa hoteli mahali alikuwa, then kutoka hapo wakamleta kotini. This is very bad. Yeah.
Sorry, she was picked from a conference or a seminar. She was addressing a seminar in Mombasa. And they picked from the hall of the seminar to court.
Maybe, oh my God. Maybe, yani hiyo aibu. Yes. Oh my God. Yeah, ni kweli. Cause huyu mama, ni mama ana smiling bana. Yani unajua niliangalia mpaka machozi ikanitoka bana. Nikasema, Madam Nyakang'o, yani ni mama ambaye unamuona ni mama mstaarabu. So maybe hiyo impression hiyo mama alishtuka. Katika hiyo harakati ya kushtuka, mimi nikimwangalia nikafikiria maybe hakuwa amejitayarisha kitu kama hiyo. It is ni mshtuko yani. It is really bad. But wamemjenga. Ile kitu ambacho ninasema kuwa huyo ni kiongozi wamemjenga, bora wasiguze roho yake, waache maisha yake yawe namna hiyo. Kama wameamua kumtenda vile wamemtenda, kama ni kumwachisha kazi na nini, wao wamwachishe kazi, wamwachie maisha yake, but God of heaven atarepay, atakuja kurepay. Sasa mambo ya CDF, nimeona wabunge wamekuwa united wakati tulikuwa tunawahitaji wakati wa the issue of cost of living ama mambo ya finance bill before iwe an act hii ya 2023, wote walikuwa na opinion tofauti, lakini sasa hivi kwa sababu wao wenyewe wameangalia, wameona hakika hii meli imezama. Sasa wameamua kupigania mambo ya CDF so that hiyo pesa iwe ni maguta wanakuja kupaka Tugege family yani kuanzia hiyo 2026 kuteremka. Because by the way CDF maybe out of 100 million yenye hawa jamaa wanapokeanga, maybe 35 million kwa mwaka ndio zinaenda kwa bursaries na kurenovate mashule hapa na pale. 65 million jamaa wanajiwekea. I'm very sure percentage kubwa ya CDF wanga inabaki na hawa wabunge ndio unaona wanatuleteanga wakati wa campaign shilingi 200 yenye inatoa harufu mpya yani kabisa. Mtu unaiweka hivi unasema kiongozi mzuri kweli, kiongozi mtamu huyo kweli lakini the moment umemeza hiyo ako kama 200 ni vilio. Wakenya tutagutuka lini manze? Hata Tugege community please, mahali popote mpo hata William Samoei Ruto tuseme kama, cause mimi sioni kitu inaniambia Mr. Bernard, kitu inaniambia kuwa huyu Ruto hata kaa uongozini mpaka 2027. Something is going to happen in our Republic of Kenya na atapata kuondolewa. Lakini hata kama tuseme 2027, wewe hebu niambie jamaa bana, yani hajafanya chochote, there's nothing tangible. Yani unaangalia hivi unasema kuwa hakika I can see a president of a nation, kuna vile anachangia katika kuboresha maisha yangu ama maisha ya watoto na watoto wangu ambao maybe watakuja wakati maybe sitakuwa ama wakati mimi mwenyewe nitakuwa. Cause unajua kiongozi mzuri unamuona tu mapema, unamuona mapema, lakini wakati unaona kuwa huyu bana akiendelea kufight the likes of Nyakang'os wenye wanamwambia ukweli wa maneno, wanamwambia kuwa Mr. Ruto vitu haziko, lakini yeye anaamua kusema no, I'm your president. Uwezi ukakuja kunianika namna hiyo. I have to do something. So huyu bana 2027 Mr. Bernard, kama atakuwa kwa debe, ataiba kura. Huyu William Samoei Ruto ataiba kura, because any good leader ni ule mwenye unaambiwa kuwa things are not good. Wakati unaambiwa things are not good, unarekebisha so that maendeleo izungumze. Usitumie pesa zako kuhonga mwananchi akupigie kura. Let development talk. Let development ambayo umetekeleza ikuuze. Wanasemanga kuwa kitu kizuri chajiuza, kitu kibaya chajitembeza. Ushaona sasa? So mimi ninapomwangalia vile huyu bwana anapiga, si wale usoeva mwenye anampinga, ni vita tu hapa na pale. This guy, kama wale wenye walimweka pale hawatamuokoa kama 2027, kama atakuwa kwa debe, hakika ataiba kura. Hiyo ndio kitu nataka niambie wa Kenya tu ukweli kabisa, as pa ile kitu amefanyia Madam Nyakang'o. Now wa Kenya tukijua kuwa huyu William Samoei Ruto ataiba kura kama atakuwa kwa debe, ile kitu ninashangaa Mr. Bernard. Yani unajua, you never know, kama baba hata simama, maybe kuwe na kiongozi mwenye atakuja na ashinde huyu William Samoei Ruto. What will happen?
Bwana Harun, summarize ni masaa.
Oh, ni masaa, yeah, very good. Yes, so yeah, unajua anajaribu kuangalia ile kiburi ya huyu jamaa akonayo, hata wakati anapoelezewa mahali ambapo inastahili arekebishe na hataki kurekebisha, which means any leader mwenye atakuwa na muoppose kwa hizi election ambazo zinakuja, unajua atatumia hizi viegezo, mambo ya corruption nini, na hakika Kenyans will buy it na wakibae kuwa hakika this leader hakuna chochote amefanya, na hii kichwa ngumu yake yenye ako nayo. Namshukuru baba Raila Amolo Odinga, ako na roho mzuri, but let's continue tuendelee kuombea nchi yetu ya Kenya, cause mahali tupo sasa hivi, in fact hatuko yani hatuko kwa ile trajectory ambayo ni mzuri. So as I finish, wacha niambie Wakenya wenzangu kuwa mahali popote upo, continue speaking kwa ndugu yako, kwa dada yako about the ills za hii government, because you know, kama hatuwezi tukaongea then kutoka hapo sisi tutakuwa tumejitendea haki. So let's continue talking, hata kama sisi ni wachache. Let's continue talking, na hakika Mungu hawezi akaacha watoto wake ambao wanalia kutokana na zile dhuluma ambazo wanatendewa na viongozi wa siku. So thank you so much Mr. Bernard kwa kunipa angalau nafasi, nimepata angalau kuchangia mambo moja mawili hivi for the good of our nation called Kenya. Back to you, Mr. Bernard.
No, thank you, Arun. We appreciate that. And our struggle continues, and we will win this. We must stay into the battle. Han UK anasema where is this? Inawezekana soon Ruto will be a thing of the past. Tutamhamisha Kenya. Exile. Yeye ndio akona ile tabia ya kupeleka watu mbinguni. Inaonekana sisi tutapeleka yeye. Hiyo masuala yeye kutuchelewesha na kutuibia. Historia kusema 4 trillion. Is it possible to introduce 4 trillion in an economy and the economy does not change? Hata kama ni economy ati ni mbaya sana, yani tuko mbaya. The country that was 4 trillion less now gets that trillion in circulation. Situation will not change.
Yeah,
you talked about the foreign countries respecting us. You know the reason why they don't respect us? It's because they give us the loan and then we take it to hide it back there. We steal from our countries. Now, since these people steal from their own people, they don't love their own people. Why should we now take interest in those people in the first place? Okay, you go and borrow 4.6 trillion, and then that same 4.6 trillion, you go and hide it in the Caribbean, you go and hide it in Dubai, you go and hide it wherever. So we are wondering, how much do you hate your country to a level whereby even when we give you aid for El Nino, aid for hunger, aid for this, you still steal it and then bring it back to us to keep for you in your name. We gave you in your country's name, you steal it and bring it back, now keep it for you in your name. We are the reason why we are looked down upon by the rest of the world, because a father, you are not different from a father who goes to the neighbor to borrow some food, and then when he's given food, anasema niwekee chakula nikipeleka kwangu watoto watakula. So how will that your neighbor now take you because you borrowed food for your family, and then you are protecting your family from accessing that particular food? You are worse than the devil. That's all I can say. All in all, nataka tumetamatisha hii kipindi. Mkora wa Kenya, tafadhali.
Thank you Bernard. Sasa hii ndio nimechomoka kule na kwaga nimeshikiwa. Unajua niko busy nikificha mang'ombe na manguruwe.
Sasa wewe vile umeficha ng'ombe na nguruwe ukamaliza, umeona mtu wa nyumba 10 acha kuona?
Pana simina, those are wild animals.
Nyumba 10
unajua
yako hapa anachunguza kila kitu. Wewe utaficha ng'ombe usucceed kweli?
Hapana, unajua Bernard, hata you know a horse, eh? There's the wild horse, na unless wishike uiteme uifunze nini ndio irudi kuwe domesticated. So it's still a horse, domesticated or not domesticated. Mimi wezi kuja kuniambia ng'ombe ni yangu. Ng'ombe pia zinajua kuzurura, kwani hakuna ng'ombe nini wild? Si hata buffalo ni ng'ombe wild. Mimi nakwambia ni buffalo, mimi hapana. As long as ina branding imeandikwa mato. Saizi tutakuwa tukilisha mang'ombe na nguruwe na nini, tutakuwa tukilisha kwa kijiji. Unaachilia iende. Don't put them in your stay. Utaumwa. It's crazy, Bernard. I know you're closing, eh? So let me not go into my place, Anna. Bernard, I'm seeing. I was watching something today. Actually, you actually played that video. I was surprised that you heard it when Ruto is walking from Dubai, and what I've always told people here, Bernard, and you know I'm big on this mafiosis thing. He looks just like a mafia. When he's walking, anatembea mtu nini anamfuata. And I've told you guys, this guy is a mafia wannabe. By the time of mafia zimeisha, when you see how akishika mama, it's because this lady is the same thing that Akombe did. Akombe came and tried to tell people, and Akombe had to run away. But some of these ladies are serious in what they do. You heard her say that even though I'm a public servant, I'm the only one in the company that I work in that I'm a public servant. And that is how I understood that there was 3 salaries being sent to me, while I was just getting what? 1. And I don't know, Bernard, I don't think there's any advisors anymore. I'm not going to be talking about, I don't know who advises Ruto. Because I don't think anybody advises Ruto. I think he just does whatever he does. And he's so feared by people because he threatens to kill people like his dad, kina Yebei, Juma, and everyone. Watu wanaogopa kabisa kumuongelesha ama kumuuliza chochote to go against. You see, like when Uhuru was doing the Kamata Friday, yenyewe ni ukweli ulikuwa umeumwa na kitu ya ukweli, lakini just because watu wenye watakuja kutusumbua weekend kusema sijui mtu yetu mwizi wetu nini, so he used to kutunza mtu tu anamchapa ka Friday tu. Unajua ile kiboko ya ka Friday tu enda pia test uko venye kuko. You remember kina Moses Kuria, Aisha Jumwa, all of them being arrested at the same time. Wakaenda, I think even Junet Mohammed was arrested at that time. They came out laughing, wakasema Moses Kuria alikuwa analalia nini ilitwaji kiatu, because he was across the board. Unashika hata huyo mwingine, you go learn. But here's the thing with this guy. First of all, he's not the president of Kenya by virtue, by physics. As the guy is never in Kenya. Hata venye ulikuwa unatucheka hapa hivi Wakamba tumeshindwa kumroga. You can get the guy. Hata ukijaribu kumwendea yako on the move. Sasa sijui ndio nilikuchekesha ukianza show. Ndege sijui sasa mnaweka controller budget ndani. Yeye ndio anako na signature. Sasa kwa hivyo Ruto sasa anataka kuwa controller budget. Yeye ndio atasainiwa signature hiyo mafuta hiyo ndege. No accountability. And when you see this guy walking into other countries like that, let me tell you, let me just get away from Ruto. Let me tell you what happens with such people. Ni kama mimi Bernard, if I come in your house and I look like I'm the bigger person than you, you know what is going to happen? You're going to start asking, who ni nani? Trump I hate comparing Kenya with America, because so many people mistake by comparing like Kenya, like America is everything or UK is everything. This developed country, we need to forge our own way of governance and following our constitution. But having said that, the problem is that when you see someone like that going and acting like he's the big person, and I told you, I mean, we spoke about the lie, so I don't want to come back about it. The green energy lie of metal. When you see someone doing like that, these people are not stupid. They're just looking at that guy and saying, hii ni ng'ombe gani. One time, I think Trump was at a place, I think he was in Germany, and he wanted to be seen the biggest person, pushing everybody around. I think he pushed even, I think hata Macron alimpush around anataka kuonekana. And then they met again in Canada. And a leakage happened of what these presidents were talking. They were like, oh, there he is. Look at him. Look at whatever. Wanaanza kumsengenya in between them. Do you know nani anasengenywa saizi in the international? Is Kenya. Because si Ruto anasengenywa. He is the president of Kenya. What he's doing is embarrassing our country. Akijifanya ni kama kuna kitu anajua. And the fact is, some of the things that he talks cannot even, I mean, if you try to fact check those things, you will feel stupid. Because I think even a nursery school kid can actually tell you exactly that that's a lie. As long as it throws billion, tume, tuta, nini, zitas, I don't know, zilikuja zikaungua. Where is this 4 point whatever trillion, or even if it's not, even if it's billion, where is it? What have we done with it? Why are you telling IMF that we can give you money, we can do whatever? When did you start giving IMF money? You know, IMF, you know, and the funny thing is that you're in the problem of people telling you IMF, National World Bank, and you still go and do that. I mean, Sugoi kwani hakuwa na shule, na niliona mtu akisema hapa hivi sijui ati alifanya economics zake US gani? Saizi ndio anatembea kila mahali, ndio aende akaone kila mahali, unless ni US ya Sugoi. Then the reason we speak like this sometimes tukikuja kama tumeboeka ama tumejam kidogo is because we're seeing some things that we've seen places zingine. There's a guy, I won't mention his name, I think you know. Kuna mtu mwingine hapo hivyo pia ongeanga sana. And I was just watching him, and today maybe we went off na yeye because he keeps on talking watu wa diaspora mnaongeaga sijui nini. What they don't understand is that because we've seen these things, unaelewa, mtu wa Geshagi hawezi kuambia Nairobi kuna kaa aje ama nini inafanyika, na bado hajapoteza Geshagi because Geshagi bado ni kwao. You see, and I'll be quick. And then Bernard, I'm seeing a bath of oligarchs. You see, when Russia went to war with Ukraine, the sanctions that even other countries did, it was to hold the oligarchs properties like kama Hyats, big boats, vitu kama hizo, and hold them, ships nini, ikiingia tu kwa nini yenyu, kwa space yenyu, it's not going out of that. Why? Because those are oligarchs. And oligarchs, what is the meaning of oligarchs? These are the rich people that actually benefit from the taxpayers' money of that country. And that is what I see Ruto creating, an oligarch country that we never used to see that. Bernard, I can bet you, na ndio maana nimekwambia Moi is becoming an angel day by day. Because I remember seeing pictures of Moi going to kuweka gabions na wananchi, akikuwa anatoa jasho. Tell Ruto aende ashike mawe kidogo tu yake mali. Atakuuliza unaniuliza kama nani? Wewe ni nani? Because for him, he's way too big than that. Who are you? Huh? And you can see the coward kind of leaders that we have in parliament, that Ruto akisema hivi wanakimbia wanamuogopa. Sijui mtu anaogopa kifo. Kifo utakufa siku moja. Either way, it's going. But we need leaders like Wangari Maathai, Kina Raila, those people who actually spoke and stood up. And we need to start and getting a new crop of those people, because hata watu wana retirement, hata wewe kwa job yako Bernard, in this seat that you sit, the big seat that you sit, one day you will retire and leave it to someone else. People can retire and leave it. To finish with that, we as Kenyans, we've been given a path to do what we need to do to change our country. I've spoken to people. People are willing to do. And you can see even the confusion to where you find aka to Agusi. They go there. Ni kama kwani hawako wame rehearse. You know, normally when you're going for a press conference, you rehearse. Mtaenda kusema nini? But you can see people revolting. Bernard, my hopes were down at some point, but we had to stay in this channel and keep on telling people the truth. Right now, with the right civil education, and especially what you're doing in this channel, Mr. Bernard, and a lot of people who are actually now coming back and actually giving civil education, because the country, no one wants to hear anything about this so-called mafia government. With this, I think time is coming to where ile Baba Nasemanga, the third revolution or the third liberation, I think it's underway. When I hear what people are talking, even kule tunaishi, I hear them talking. And I want to thank you, Harun, and everybody that comes in here. Na muachange kuacha Bernard akiwa peke yake. Mimi tu singine unajua we are busy somewhere. That's sometimes I want to come in akibaki peke yake. I want to just come in. Please come in, have a talk. Harun used to be a comment guy huko. Kama utaki kuonekana, we'll vouch for you to say, okay, you can always come, unaweza kuja behind the camera. We have exceptions. Like Harun said, you know what, I really want to talk, but I cannot come inside because sitaki kuonekana due to some vitu alituambia reasons. And we agreed. Wachageni kuacha Bernard hapa alafu mnalia channel isipofunguliwa. Ni venye watu wengine time difference inakuwa noma. Bernard, with all that long and short, whatever it is, I want to thank you so much, and God bless you so much. Asante sana. Maybe that will be my closing remark. Bado niko na another maybe 30 minutes. Hata ungeniambia nishikilie siwezi. But you also know what day it is. Asante sana. Thank you, and God bless you so much. May God give you more strength to keep on educating people.
Amen. Thank you. But expect an invoice for your fine, even after that. Thank you so much for your contribution. And of course,
my fine will be nguruwe zangu endo ukafungulia ubebe. Ndo ukipigwa fine wendo utakula ukule tax.
Sasa unaona nguruwe zimekuwa mzigo, zao unataka kunioflodia. Ndio zakayo. Akuje kuweka tent huko. Mimi na zaka hatuwezi patana. All in all, thank you. Now, Arun, wewe nakupimia muda, okay? Neno lako la mwisho 30 seconds.
Yes, asante Mr. Bernard. Ningependa kuambia Mkenya mkora namna hii kuwa wale the likes of Gloria ya kina Onyonka, wale wakisi ambao uliona wakiwa kwa press conference, si eti hawakuwa wamejipanga. Ni ile huyu Madam Gloria alitaka kuexclude William Samoei Ruto kuwa yeye virako nje, hakuwa anajua kuwa Madam Nyakang'o angeenda kutiwa mbaroni. So ndio uliona ya kina Onyonga wakikasirika wakimwambia kuwa hapana, yani tulikuwa tunataka hata yeye akemea aseme kuwa William Samoei Ruto, kwa sababu wewe ndio umesimamia mambo ya EACC na nini, you are not doing good kwa the Kisii community. Lakini ikawa yeye anatetea William Samoei Ruto alafu anaingisha EACC anawekea makosa. Ndio uliona ya kina Onyonga wakakasirika wakatoka. Alafu na jambo la mwisho,
swali haraka kwa hiyo huyu ni ule Gloria mwenye alikuwa amejipaka vitu ndio kwa parliament ndio aonekana
kabisa, ule mwenye alikuwa amejimwagia marangi huyo. ndio huyo sasa. Sasa jambo la mwisho ningependa kusema kuwa in fact Mr. Bernard, uliona Thika Superhighway ilitumia kitu kama 33 billion only. Angalia hii expressway how many billions imetumia, hata haijafika 120 billion. Lakini wakati unapozungumza kuhusu anything inaitwa a trillion a trillion ikiwekwa kwa economy, oh my god, cause hii ni pesa ambayo imekuja. Unajua kuna ushuru ambayo mnakusanya hapa, lakini sasa trillion imekuja, italeta impact kubwa sana. So my friend, hizi pesa zenye Wakenya wenzangu, hizi pesa zenye mnasikia kuwa trilioni inakopwa, hiyo ni pocket money ya president of the day, alafu na hawa small oligarchs wenye wanachipuka now, the likes of Chirchir, the likes of Murkomen, hawa wenye unaona sasa hivi maskandal zao zina deal na mambo ya mabilions. Sasa hao ndio wanafaidika kupitia kwa hizi loans zenye, because a trillion sio mchezo, cause hiyo ni pesa unapewa kibunda, so ukileta kwa economy italeta change. Lakini
but I'm confused Arun, nini yetu budget yetu especially from the counties, I thought it was 3.67 something. Bernard, you may correct me, trillion. How do we borrow more than the economy? I mean, if my math is right, serves me right. Bernard, I stand corrected. I thought it was 3 point something. Sidhani kaa tushaichukua more than 4 trillion.
Nini yetu hizi pesa zenye tunakusanya, kama last time tulikusanya 3 ilikuwa our budget ilikuwa 3 trillion, lakini 700 billion ilikuwa, yani yale makadirio yenye walikuwa wameweka, tulikosa 700 billion. Sasa ikasemekana hii tunaweza kopa hiyo 700 billion, tunaweza kopa, lakini at cash tulikuwa na 3 trillion. Sasa tukalack 700 billion. Sasa hiyo 700 billion, na ukumbuke kati ya hiyo 3 trillion tulichukua 1 trillion tukalipa madeni. By the way, it is confusion manze. Tulichukua 1 trillion tukalipa madeni, 1 trillion zikaenda kulipa mishahara na nini hapo hivi, alafu another 700 billion ikaenda kwa development, 300 billion ikaenda kwa counties, ushaona, ikaenda kwa county government, so ikamake 3 trillion. So 700 billion hiyo ilikuwa tukope, ndio zile makadirio upate kuwa serikali haiwezi kosa do. But sasa hiyo pesa ndio tunasema kuwa kama ingekuwa inakuja impact tungeiona, but hatuoni manze. Jamaa wanakula manze, jamaa wanakula. Thank you so much Mr. Bernard. Back to you.
And Bernard, while you're closing, I think we need to do away with supplementary budgets. I was reading something on the budget of Kenya that when do we do budget? April, end of April, right? Ndio tunapitishaga April somewhere there, right? And then in July people start coming, like this lady was saying, people start coming up with other things. I don't think we need any supplementary budget. If you kama ukujipanga. Bernard, ukijipanga nyumba yako unajipanganga mwaka mzima ama kitu kingine inakuja. Wewe kopo ulipe mwenyewe. Lakini we need to do away with supplementary budget, because I think that is where we are losing all this money. And again, I think these things need to be posted somewhere in a website, because wanafichaga. And we need to, hizi vitu wanasemanga sijui ati they declare their wealth, we need to see them posted with your family and everything. Ukiingia huko, no privacy, no expectation of privacy. Tunaona kila kitu. So that we start accounting on this, even the people mwenye kuko chili mwenye anajua kupiga hesabu yake hata kama ni mtoto wa class 8, a genius in class 8, anaweza pigia hesabu angalie kama hiyo balance sheet inaingiana. Bernard, sorry for wasting your time, lakini I hope I did not waste it.
Thank you. When you're dealing with thieves, thieves will invent new ways of stealing. Supplementary budget is part of the stealing program. You remember what was being raised, that even after the finance bill passing, it was improved on in State House. Some figures were changed to suit into what they wanted. So inaenda kwa parliament, inapitishwa, alafu inaachwa blank spaces. Zinaenda kujaziwa nini? State House, ili pesa nyingi ipatikane ya kuiba. So that is it. And then about Aruna and the press conference. Unajua kuna members of parliament, members of senate, alafu there is the special senate in room 350, okay? So this special senate or special parliament in room 350, they are used as proxies for distraction. I can bet that Madam Gloria received a phone call to go and scuttle the press conference, okay? So she was not acting out of trying to defend William Ruto without being instructed to. And understanding the capacity of the Abaguzi people in getting irritated and reacting, she came there purposely to make that press conference of non-effect, because it was going to be disastrous if they all ganged up and talked about William Ruto and his administration targeting the Abaguzi people. But you know, with the Arati and the logging of Nyanza and the rest of Western region against UDA, it's working like wildfire. So they are frustrated. And so when this one is added to that as a reason why William Ruto should be rejected, Kisiland is going to be a no-go zone for all of their imaginations. And that is the frustration at this point in time. And where things are right now, it beats all logic that William Ruto has access to intelligence, has access to all the information around how the country is and how the country feels, but it still makes these nasty, stupid blunders as if he's not aware, because this kind of arrests are not done like that by government. Government ni sirikali. You need to work more subtle. You need to be unpredictable. People need to guess why something has happened. That's how government works. But here, Ruto, you can put 1 + 1, you get 2 immediately. You don't even need to consult. And that is his unmaking, and some of which I believe is divine to kumwanika. And as things stand now, he may just be a landlocked wherever president, if you so insists to continue. But kutawaka moto hivi karibuni.
Oh, and Bernard, let me report something real quick to people when you wanatusikiza, and even to you yourself. Remember that thing of kids that are from the diaspora? 2 million?
A million, no, it was 2 million.
It was 2 million.
Uh-huh.
If you have a kid umezalia kutoka huko diaspora na nini and all that, and this is so weird because I thought I kind of thought it even though inaenda, lakini it confirmed to me. I have a friend mwenye alikuja amekwamia, because they're coming for the Christmas. I mean, the guy has been away for a long time. Alikwamia airport akiitishwa hiyo pesa, imagine, na mtoto yake, na katoto ni kadogo. Yani he was calling me ananiambia, listen, Mato, anyway, can you talk to someone? Walifungiwa hapo hivyo. Yani, we had to talk to someone, tukapiga masimu kila mahali, that the kid cannot get into the country. Hawa wili wanaweza ingia, the two parents. Kwa sababu mtoto, you know, even in the flight, it's so sad, Bernard. This is a sad thing. Wametoka huku, wamepitia Swiss, wamepitia kila mahali, hakuna mahali mtoto hata hata kali kiti. Mtoto wa nini wa I think she's 6.5 months. Wamefika Kenya wanaambiwa she's not a citizen. Hata kwenye ametoka kwanza, hata huyu mtoto hata na passport huko, hakuna mtu anaulizanga story ya passport. Anaambiwa vitu kama hizo, alafu wanamwambia ati tupatie 10k, we'll do whatever. Akakataa. Walikaa hapo for 2 hours until we had to call people. Bernard, this is stupidity and it's sad and it's making me very mad. Hata kiniona nakuja na ukali hivyo. Huyu mtoto hata mwenyewe hata ana passport kule amezaliwa, na hakuna mtu anamuitisha hata kurudi ama kuenda. Then unapata pale hivyo, sijui kama iko kwa government, kama ni hiyo memo ilikuwa imetokea ama ni nini. Then you find that wazazi wawili wanakalishwa pale, they are Kenyans, they have their passports, wako na kila kitu. Alafu mtoto ati juu ya mtoto ati tupatie sijui, I don't know what, hata nilisahau hata nini alikuwa anaitishwa, because I was so mad. I just said to use some connections that I have, wakaachiliwa wakaingia. Now imagine someone that doesn't have any connections. Bernard, it's sad. I almost, because najua mtoto, and I was there at the birth, I almost like karibu nitoe machozi mimi mwenyewe. I just told the lady na alikuwa kilia, nikamwambia msipeane chochote, we'll do with it. Wakaniambia acha tupeane tu, anyway tulikuwa tumejipanga. But do you know that's a budget tumeharibia mtu. Imagine mtu atafanya kazi for 2 months cause amekuja home, wazazi wake waone mtoto mwenye amezaa, na wote ni wa Kenya. Mtoto hata itishwi passport mahali popote, anafika Kenya anaanza kuitishwa vitu ni kama ananyimwa kuingia. Bernard, there's something that needs to be done and I'm mad and yani kitu kama hiyo as a father, no, sorry, I had forgotten that. I wanted to call you in private, lakini sawa, nimeisema hapa. Liwe liwalo. That's why we have sound candid talk.
It's okay, and it is sad because some of those laws, they are not practical, they are not applicable, and I don't think they even exist. They're just avenues for extortioning money from people. Simple and pure. Because citizenship is not by arrival. Is it by arrival? If I enter a country without being a citizen, does that make me a citizen?
Bernard, the last time I in my school,
why should that be a condition? Because okay, I cannot obtain a passport until I'm 18 and above. It's a law, isn't it? Now, I am 6 months and I'm 6.5 months old. What are you asking from me? What is it that you want?
Bernard, in my school,
is it my clinic card or my baptismal card? What is it that you want? Because I am not yet the age for passport. Passport is for citizens, okay? Now no, it doesn't add up. It's just wickedness. That's what it is.
Bernard, in my school, when I was growing up and reading this, tukisomeshwa hizi civic, I think that language, hiyo kitu lazima irudishwe that nini. And by the way, we'll fight about it. The civil education. Bernard, I believe correct me. I believe there's 3 ways of earning citizenship: by birth, by inaitwaje, ile kukubaliwa umekuja, you apply for your whatever.
There is by birth, naturalization, and by is it application?
Yes, and there's also your parents, if your parent is a citizen.
That one is an express provision.
And marriage.
No, there's no marriage there's no citizenship by marriage.
There is by marriage.
No. Your marriage partner, if you are married to a foreigner will have to apply specifically, but now that marriage gives them added advantage for consideration for citizenship other than just walking in as a stranger and wanting the citizenship. So if you're married to a Kenyan, you will have added advantage when you apply for citizenship. So
does birth define where you were born?
No, what I'm saying is the express provision of the Constitution, if I remember very well, any child born of Kenyan parents, they automatically become citizen, whether they are born within or without the country called Kenya. As long as they are born of Kenyan citizen, they obtain citizenship by reason of the citizenship of their parents. If that has changed, we need to know how it changed. But that is how I understand what the law is. Now, this other thing of the children cannot come home except they are paid for and they cannot enter the country, it is neither here or there. Even children of foreign tourists, si wanakujanga hapa kila mwaka, wakikuja tourism wanalipanga citizenship.
Sio ndio ujinga nasema, cause even American citizens wenye watu wengine wanataka tu kukuja, you come with your friend, unalipia visa pale hivyo, if you are American citizen or even another country, na ni $50 for your visa kuingia. Hata ulipi kwenyu, unalipia pale ukishafika.
Yeah.
Ati mtoto anakuja anaambiwa hawezi ingia, na hiyo pesa tunajua itaenda kwa mtu.
Hiyo ni utapeli. So we must stop that, and that's why a riot need to take place. And I support what Engineer Kariuki was talking about. When we begin the riot against Zakayo, let all embassies around the country, around the world, feel the impact of why Zakayo is a misfit and incompetent and unfit for public service worldwide. So
my suggestion is, in fact, hata tukienda maandamano tena tunafaa kuandamana for all embassies zote, sisi ati kwa barabara huko nje hizo embassy, so that they feel this international interference that Ruto thinks he can go and dear people and do his business huko Arab Emirates. Unajua why he stays in those Arab Emirates? He was still doing that before. That's where his money is. That is where our country, our money is going, because he wants to be one of the richest people in Africa, so that he thinks that's where the power is. And all, I mean, mafia. Bernard, funga channel. Mimi nikiongea hapa tutaka hapa na nitakasirika, na sitaki kukasirika. Naomba Mungu kwanza aniweke mpaka Friday ndio nitakasirika.
It is that is how things stand. This is a mafia administration. They want to steal everything they can cite, and if they can't see it, they will look for somebody to use as an excuse to allow them to get into people's pockets. As at now, Kenyans need to rise up and get their country back. How easy? I won't allow.
I'm shocked and surprised, just the way my friend Honorable Steve Mogaka said, and my colleagues who are here. We have been raising issues about our country, and we hoped, personally I've been hoping that somebody would have listened to what some of us are saying. Let me now tell you what Mrs. Nyakang'o has done. She basically came out and said the store has been broken into and the money is being taken. She said it. You guys are members of the media, so you had her say so. The consolidated fund is now easily accessibly available. The controller budget has no access to it. What we are talking about is that people who are doing their jobs are now being victimized and are now being taken to court. In fact, some of us who are critics of the government are expected to be taken to court. Can they hurry up and come and get some of us quickly? Because we are not going to stop this nonsense. We will talk about the issues. We will raise them. Madam Nyakang'o has been saying it. We are mismanaging our finances and we are mismanaging our country. In a very polite way. I called one of my friends who is in leadership in the House. And I told him, what is that nonsense I saw? That was last week. He told me, and he sent me a message. He said, tell her to stop talking too much. What do you mean to tell her to stop talking too much? Some of us talk too much. You can't stop me. That's the job I have. I'm going to tell this government over and over and over that the things which you're accusing Ms. Nyakang'o of doing, that is the job you gave her.
Dear amazing subscribers, followers, and members of Sound Candid Talk, as we approach the end of this incredible year, we find ourselves reflecting on the journey we've shared, the triumphs we've celebrated, and the challenges we've conquered together. We stand in awe and gratitude for each and every one of you who have been an integral part of our YouTube family in 2023. Thank you, from the depths of our hearts, for your unwavering support, enthusiasm, and dedication to our channel. Your presence has been the driving force behind the success and growth we've experienced this year. It's impossible to adequately express our appreciation for the countless hours you've spent watching, sharing, and engaging with our content. Your loyalty has not only fueled our passion, but has also given us the motivation to strive for excellence in every video we create. As we navigate the ever-evolving landscape of content creation, your feedback has been our compass, guiding us towards improvement and innovation. Your insightful comments, encouraging messages, and constructive criticism have been invaluable, pushing us to reach new heights and explore uncharted territories. It's your enthusiasm that lights the fire within us and inspires us to continuously raise the bar. To our cherished members, your commitment to our community has created a tight-knit family where ideas are exchanged, friendships are forged, and support is abundant. You are the heartbeat of our channel, and we are endlessly grateful for the vibrant community you've helped us build. As we enter the festive season, we want to extend our warmest wishes for a Merry Christmas filled with love, joy, and cherished moments with your loved ones. May the holiday season bring you peace and rejuvenation as we prepare to welcome the promising year of 2024. Looking ahead, we are filled with excitement for the opportunities and adventures that await us, and we couldn't be more thrilled to have you by our side. Your dedication has been the cornerstone of our success, and we have no doubt that the coming year will bring even greater milestones and shared accomplishments. In the spirit of this season, we extend our heartfelt prayers for each and every one of you. May God's blessings surround you, providing comfort, strength, and joy. As we usher in the new year, may His grace be a guiding light, illuminating your path and showering you with countless blessings. Once again, thank you for being the heartbeat of our channel. You are not just subscribers, followers, or members, you are the heartbeat that keeps our channel alive and thriving. We are immensely blessed to have you on this journey with us, and we eagerly anticipate the wonderful moments that lie ahead. With deepest gratitude and warmest wishes, this is Bernard's and the entire Sound Candid Talk crew.
Sound Candy Talk sasa imeboreshwa zaidi. Kila siku ya wiki asubuhi tunapambazuka na maabudu na sifa kwenye kipindi cha Daybreak Worship. Baadaye tunakuletea mahojiano ya moja kwa moja kwenye one-on-one show. Alafu tunakuletea taarifa zinazochipuka siku hiyo zikiwa ange kwenye In the News Headlines. Kisha tunaingia bungeni. Viongozi tuliowachagua tuangalie wanafanya nini bungeni.
On a daily basis, whenever the house is sitting, the order paper is here.
I take any work that I'm given very seriously.
Not have favors. Yes. It's not appointed because you come from Nyeri.
Kisha baadaye usiku tunakutana kwenye Open Forum Political Show, kipindi kinachotadavua na kufafanua makala na taarifa zinazokuhusu zaidi.
Sasa hii ndiye time ya kuweka kila mtu question mark one by one. Ruto tumeshaweka question mark ya kutosa.
Umeenda mpaka umevuka border, umeanza kudanganya watu wenye wako US na nchi zingine.
Kazi ya kiongozi ni kuhakikisha ya kwamba vijana wako kazi.
Tazama Sound Candy Talk uelimike.